What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 13 PB. Chapter 291 Ten Tails Jinchuriki Madara. The Emergent Figure, seeking subscription. Advertisement. The situation is not quite right, there is always a bad feeling. Nagato said condensedly. One voice, Deidara and others on the side immediately felt deeply in agreement. Watch, the things in front of them obviously exceeded their original expectations. However, they didn't find out, at the moment, Qing Yu, who was in front of him, also had a strange expression on his face. Why did the situation turn back again? Didn't I just remind the guy at Urzuzi to pay attention to the sneak attack? Unexpectedly, he was still attacked, thought of here. Qing Yu shook his head helplessly. He did intend to cooperate with the Urzuzi for a while, but he did not expect that the Urzuzi was still wary of the wrong target, 0Li90. Not only did he lose Rinnegan, he also lost his life. Next, about Sasuke's series of plans, probably can only be shelved. Thought of here, Qing Yu shook his head again. Then he turned his head to look at the people behind Xiaoji, and said with a smile but a smile. The worst situation is coming soon. Everyone, get ready. Soon, it's estimated that it will be our Akatsuki shot moment. The voice fell, everyone immediately refreshed. On the one hand, it was because of curiosity about what happened next, and on the other hand, it was naturally because they could finally make a move. This battle in the ninja world, it would be too inferior if Akatsuki had not participated in the war. This side, Uchiha Madara, who regained Rinnegan, stared at the world in front of him. After a while, the expression returned to indifferent again. Advertisement, all plans are finally back on track at this moment. The voice fell, Obito fell silent for a moment. Of course he understands what Uchiha Madara's plan means to get back on track. At the beginning, after Madara died voluntarily, the original plan was to let Obito lead Akatsuki to collect the tail beasts, and persuade Nagato to complete the round of revolving heaven birth, thereby resurrecting Madara in its heyday. But now, everything in the plan is messed up, as Qing Yu and Orochimaru spoiled the game. As a result, Obito's true identity was dismantled and kicked out of Akatsuki, and Madara was also summoned in the form of Impure World reincarnation. Afterwards, Madara was cut off in a battle with Qing Yu, unable to recover. This once made their plan irretrievable, but fortunately, Uchiha Sasuke, carrying a brand new Rinnegan, suddenly appeared. After going through a series of twists and turns, Uchiha Madara finally returned in his most perfect posture. Obito glanced at Uchiha Sasuke on the ground, and a strange feeling rose in his heart. He suddenly thought, if you ever really took Rinnegan from Nagato and took it for yourself. I don't know, will it be attacked like this in the same way? While he was thinking, Rinnegan Madara on the side raised his eyes and looked over, as if he didn't care about his gaze, and said indifferently. Get out, Obito. The 10-tail scene should end here. Hearing this, Obito paused in his heart, and then immediately reacted. After nodding, he jumped off the body of 10 tails and came to the side. And Black Zetsu went directly to the other side. Just as the people below were still puzzled by this, suddenly, a change occurred. Do not know why, that huge 10 tails body, as if caught in an invisible space vortex, suddenly began to suck back into Uchiha Madara's body. All chakras are like tornadoes, beginning to condense quickly. What's the matter? 10 tails was absorbed by Uchiha. Is this guy going to become 10 tails Jinchuriki? Advertisement. The people of the four shadows below naturally realized that it was not so good, and their complexions changed drastically. As far as they know, this kind of scene will only happen when the tail beast is sealed in Jinchuriki's body. Therefore, they thought of this almost at the same time. Boom. In a blink of an eye, storms are everywhere. The originally huge 10 tails body was completely sucked into nothingness in just a few seconds. At the same time, Uchiha Madara, who was floating in the air, immediately began to undergo various changes. A black hair instantly turned white. A black suit was replaced by a white six-paths trench coat. The arms and legs of the original normal skin color also became jet black at this moment. While the black mysterious sphere appeared behind him, a pitch black six-paths stick appeared in his hand. Stare. Until all the transformation is over, the surrounding storms will all end. And at this time, as if the whole world was quiet. Above the ground, all the surviving ninjas and the samurai of the Iron Kingdom stared at Uchiha Madara here, dumbfounded. What is going on in this form? This guy, could it come true to become 10 tails Jinchuriki? Hiss, to know, an ordinary tail beast, Jinchuriki, almost has the strength comparable to cage level. And now, 10 tails Jinchuriki, which has gathered the 9 big tail beasts. I can't even think about it, everyone's complexion changed, and their hearts were filled with all kinds of weird emotions. However, before they start to respond in detail in 4.6. Suddenly, a familiar and unfamiliar voice suddenly rang from one side of the snow-capped mountains. Fire-style big flame bomb. Chapter 292. The gravel is not as good as me, for subscription. Advertisement, boom. The voice hasn't fallen. The huge scarlet flame passed through the snowy sky like a shooting star and slammed towards the back of Uchiha Madara. The blazing high temperature passed through the air, as if it had scorched everything around it. Just wait and see, you can feel the powerful heat wave. Even the speed is very fast, in a blink, he has arrived behind Uchiha Madara. Seeing this picture, the seeing and others below were all startled, looking in the direction of the sound. But I saw there, a white-haired ninja in red, holding the posture of Jian, jumping from a height. From Jiraiya? Is it Toad Sage from Konan? The moment when the iconic face was clearly seen, everyone present naturally recognized it immediately. Among them, Tsunade is particularly unexpected. Her beautiful eyes widened, and she couldn't believe that Jiraiya would actually appear here. Obviously he said before that he wants to stay in Konoha village, and there are other important things to deal with. However, at this moment, there is no time for everyone to think about it. Seeing that Red O2 flame bomb was about to hit Uchiha Madara's back, everyone was attentive. After all, Uchiha Madara has just changed to the Ten Tails Jinchuriki mode, no one knows what he has, and no one knows how strong he is. This inflamed bomb may be the best time for testing. Everyone looked at with bated breath, however, above the sky. Six Paths Madara still did not take any action. It seemed as if he hadn't noticed, he still turned his back to the direction in which the Yanbo rushed, completely unmoved. However, the next moment, the image that shocked everyone present appeared. I saw a suspended black ball-shaped object behind Six Paths Madara, unexpectedly flying out automatically, loaded with a large flame bomb. And the next moment, no collision or explosion occurred. The moment the big flame bomb touched the black ball, it seemed to have collapsed into an unknown space and disappeared. The whole technique, in the air, there was not even a trace of sparks left. Completely dissipated. Nani, what's the situation? Now, whether it was Jiraiya who attacked or the four shadows who witnessed the scene below, all froze. Advertisement they had just anticipated various situations that would happen. Whether it's blocking or hitting, even dodge, but they didn't even think about it. Jiraiya's technique was actually eliminated without leaving a trace. Is this the power of Ten Tails Jinchuriki? Everyone shuddered. If you speculate like this, so. Doesn't it mean that those black balls have the power to eliminate ninjutsu? Thought of here, Raikage and Mizukage Terumi Mei at the bottom looked at each other, and at the same time they decided to try it out. Terumi Mei raised his hand to Jian, and did not hesitate to release his expertise, Water Style. Water Style Water Dragon Bomb. Boom. The moment before the voice. The huge blue water dragon suddenly blasted out, and the dragon head roared like thunder. At the same time, Raikage directly raised his hand, and lightning-style chakra burst out. Boom. Countless blasting thunder and lightning poured into water dragons and the like, instantly turning them into giant dragons that merged the power of water and thunder double elephants, and bombarded Uchiha Madara above the sky. This is the combined ninja method combining water style and lightning style lightning water dragon bomb. After hitting an enemy, it can not only cause a powerful impact with the water dragon, but also paralyze it with thunder and lightning, which can be called a magical skill of attack and control. In an instant, above the whole world, almost all are occupied by this huge thunder and lightning water dragon, full of a powerful sense of oppression that makes people unable to breathe. Raikage then stared at Madara in the air, staring at him and shouted. Try this trick. As soon as the voice fell, the huge thunder dragon has already rushed in front of Uchiha Madara. However, he still didn't mean to dodge anymore, instead he lifted his chin slightly and said coldly. HMPH, this kind of attack, don't be embarrassed. It's not as good as me. As soon as the voice fell, the stick in his hand instantly turned into a black mirror like a circular enchantment. Blocked directly in front of the lightning water dragon bomb. And the next moment, I saw the thunder and lightning water dragon hit the top of the black mirror, and it was all eliminated without exception. After seeing this picture clearly, everyone's hearts were shocked again. Advertisement sure enough. The black thing around this guy has the power to eliminate ninjutsu indiscriminately. Although there have been speculations, after the verification, everyone was naturally shocked. And at the moment, Jiraiya, who had just appeared suddenly, also came down, beside Si Ying. The moment he saw him coming, Tsunade suddenly looked strange and authentic. Jiraiya, why did you suddenly appear here? Didn't you say that there is something important to deal with? The voice fell. Jiraiya seemed to think of something in general, his expression relaxed a little, and smiled. Ah, it's really important, but well, it's already taken care of. If nothing happens, you should be able to see it after a while. As soon as the voice fell, Tsunade was taken aback for a moment. See? What's the meaning? But, before she could think carefully, she listened to Jiraiya looking around dignifiedly while continuing. Well, what about Naruto? I don't seem to see it. The voice fell. Tsunade was stunned for an instant, then his eyes dimmed involuntarily, and he gritted his teeth. In silence. Upon seeing this, Jiraiya's heart suddenly glared. At this time, Kakashi, who was injured at 090 on the side, lowered his head, and said with an ugly expression. Sorry, Lord Jiraiya. I failed to take care of Naruto as you ordered, which caused his 9 tails to be pulled away by Sasuke. Although I have been transferred to another place, there is still life, but it is only hanging by the bat of Tsunade-sama. I am afraid. Speaking of which, Kakashi did not go on. And in fact, even if he didn't go on, Jiraiya certainly understood it. After all, once Jinchuriki is free from the tail beast, he will die. This has always been a natural law, aware of this. Jiraiya's face couldn't help but froze, and then, his eyes slowly dropped, lonely. Yes. Sure enough, I'm another step away. Chapter 293 Sage Mode. Jiraiya's Crazy Temptation. Seeking subscription. Advertisement. The look of Jiraiya, it seemed to be a lot older in an instant. The reason why he feels here in such a hurry is because he is afraid that something will happen to Naruto. However, although he had tried his best to hurry on, he was still a step late. And, even the same as what I had predicted, Naruto, falling on the fetters of his own pursuit, thought of here. Jiraiya's drooping eyes are even more full of ghosts. However, this time, not waiting for Kakashi and Tsunade to speak. Raikage at the side raised his eyebrows and shouted in a deep voice. Hey, is it time to think about this now? The magnificent Konan, the teacher who shines in yellow, isn't it just this level, is it? I drank angrily. He has lost his favorite brother, and he has been fighting here all the time. After learning about Naruto's situation, Jiraiya in front of him seemed to lose his fighting spirit instantly, which naturally made him quite unhappy. The voice fell. Jiraiya and Tsunade were stunned at the same time. At this time, on the side, Tsuchikage Onoki also spoke in a deep voice, with a serious tone. Raikage is right. There are too many people who died in this war. Do we have to mourn or lose our fighting spirit for every death? Rather than having that time to be depressed, it's better to plan how to defeat the guy in front of you, right? While talking, Onoki raised his head and looked at the 6 paths Madara in the air, and said solemnly. I can clearly feel it. Today's Madara, the strength has completely surpassed the previous peak period. Even if first Hokage is reborn, it doesn't have to be. No, it's definitely impossible to defeat him. As soon as the voice fell, it instantly laid a heavier tone for the war. To know, the battle of Senju Hashirama's Uchiha Madara back then was almost a legend in the ninja world. Even, there is also a statue of the two in the End Valley. However today, advertisement Uchiha Madara returned as a rebirth. Facing him, but it is not the god of ninja first Hokage. It's from the 3rd generation, 4th generation, and even 5th generation, from the 4 ninja villages. More desperately, now Uchiha Madara, who has returned, has transformed into a more powerful posture. Everyone was silent for a long time. After Jiraiya and Tsunade realized the seriousness of the crisis, they naturally had to let go of their grief for the time being. As Konan, they once again stood side by side on the battlefield. Although they lacked one person, at least for the moment they would not be crushed by grief. And at this moment, Mizukage Terumi, who hadn't spoken for a long time, seemed to realize something was so common. She raised her eyes to Jiraiya and said, I remember, you just said, perhaps soon, we will see something you have handled well. What is meant by the so-called seeing? As soon as this word came out, everyone was taken aback for a moment. Terumi Mei's words clearly sound strange. Obviously everyone is facing an invincible enemy, but she suddenly asked what Jiraiya said just now. But after thinking about it carefully, they realized something was wrong in an instant. In Jiraiya's words, it is obvious that there is some kind of important information hidden, however. He didn't say it directly, no wonder Terumi Mei cares. After all, when Jiraiya just said this, she seemed to be expecting something in general. Thought of here, everyone's eyes focused on Jiraiya. Logically speaking, he should have prepared something for the future. After hearing this, Jiraiya was taken aback for a moment, then shook his head with a wry smile, and slowly said, well, for the time being, I don't know if I can catch up. So, let's try to solve the situation in front of you first. While talking, Jiraiya raised his head and looked at Uchiha Madara above the sky, his expression restored solemnly, and said in a low voice. The reason why I made a sudden shot just now was actually to test the mysterious floating black balls behind him. Advertisement, but I didn't expect it to have unusual power. It looks like, he seems to have the ability to change it into any shape and eliminate the ninjutsu he has touched. In this way, maybe I can try another way. As soon as this word came out, everyone was stunned for a moment. Another way, what does it mean? However, just when they were surprised, suddenly, behind Jiraiya, 2 old summoning frogs suddenly jumped out, standing on his left and right shoulders. It is the Shensha and Shima immortals of Mount Myoboku. At this time, Jiraiya's face sank directly, and he patted his hands. Carrot. Dang. After a while, a strange dark red pattern immediately appeared on his face. The moment I saw this picture, the others were still stunned, but Tsunade's heart suddenly moved. This is Shanshu, she naturally recognized it immediately. The reason why Jiraiya is called Toad Sage is precisely because he has practiced celestial arts in Mount Myoboku. Shinsō is different from ordinary ninjutsu using chakra in the human body, but a state where natural energy can be used. In this state, you can use natural energy to enhance your attack and defense, and at the same time, you can use natural energy to create Shanshu chakra, which can make your own ninjutsu, physique, and illusion power leap forward. The only flaw is that the time to gather chakra is too long, so Jiraiya can maintain a very limited time. Because of this, when he uses Shanshu, he usually summons Shenzo Shenren and Jima Shenren to assist in the attack, which can extend the effect of Sage Mode. As the saying goes, any technique has weaknesses. Although Uchiha Madara's Black Ball can eliminate ninjutsu attacks indiscriminately, it is not necessarily able to eliminate Shinsō. As long as the tactics are good dogs, it is completely possible to test this, and even cause serious damage to it. There was a glimmer of hope in Tsunade's heart. While Jiraiya looked at the people around him, his face was solemn, and after slowly exhaling, he whispered in a deep voice. Next, can you use various attacks to help me temporarily suppress Uchiha Madara? As soon as Jiraiya's voice fell, the faces of several shadows suddenly condensed, and then, their eyes lit up. Chapter 293 Sage Mode. Jiraiya's Crazy Temptation. seeking subscription. Advertisement. The look of Jiraiya, it seemed to be a lot older in an instant. The reason why he feels here in such a hurry is because he is afraid that something will happen to Naruto. However, although he had tried his best to hurry on, he was still a step late. And, even the same as what I had predicted, Naruto, falling on the fetters of his own pursuit, thought of here. Jiraiya's drooping eyes are even more full of ghosts. However, this time, not waiting for Kakashi and Tsunade to speak. Raikage at the side raised his eyebrows and shouted in a deep voice. Hey, is it time to think about this now? The magnificent Konan, the teacher who shines in yellow, isn't it just this level, is it? I drank angrily. He has lost his favorite brother and he has been fighting here all the time. After learning about Naruto's situation, Jiraiya in front of him seemed to lose his fighting spirit instantly, which naturally made him quite unhappy. The voice fell. Jiraiya and Tsunade were stunned at the same time. At this time, on the side, Tsuchikage Onoki also spoke in a deep voice, with a serious tone. Raikage is right. There are too many people who died in this war. Do we have to mourn or lose our fighting spirit for every death? Rather than having that time to be depressed, it's better to plan how to defeat the guy in front of you, right? While talking, Onoki raised his head and looked at the 6 paths Madara in the air and said solemnly. I can clearly feel it. Today's Madara, the strength has completely surpassed the previous peak period. Even if first Hokage is reborn, it doesn't have to be. No, it's definitely impossible to defeat him. As soon as the voice fell, it instantly laid a heavier tone for the war. To know, the battle of Senju Hashirama's Uchiha Madara back then was almost a legend in the ninja world. Even, there is also a statue of the two in the End Valley. However today, advertisement Uchiha Madara returned as a rebirth. Facing him, but it is not the god of ninja first Hokage. It's from the 3rd generation, 4th generation, and even 5th generation, from the 4 ninja villages. More desperately, now Uchiha Madara, who has returned, has transformed into a more powerful posture. Everyone was silent for a long time. After Jiraiya and Tsunade realized the seriousness of the crisis, they naturally had to let go of their grief for the time being. As Konan, they once again stood side by side on the battlefield. Although they lacked one person, at least for the moment they would not be crushed by grief. And at this moment, Mizukage Terumi-Mei, who hadn't spoken for a long time, seemed to realize something was so common. She raised her eyes to Jiraiya and said, I remember, you just said, perhaps soon, we will see something you have handled well. What is meant by the so-called seeing? As soon as this word came out, everyone was taken aback for a moment. Terumi-Mei's words clearly sound strange. Obviously everyone is facing an invincible enemy, but she suddenly asked what Jiraiya said just now. But after thinking about it carefully, they realized something was wrong in an instant. In Jiraiya's words, it is obvious that there is some kind of important information hidden, however. He didn't say it directly, no wonder Terumi-Mei cares. After all, when Jiraiya just said this, she seemed to be expecting something in general. Thought of here, everyone's eyes focused on Jiraiya. Logically speaking, he should have prepared something for the future. After hearing this, Jiraiya was taken aback for a moment, then shook his head with a wry smile, and slowly said. Well, for the time being, I don't know if I can catch up. So, let's try to solve the situation in front of you first. While talking, Jiraiya raised his head and looked at Uchiha Madara above the sky, his expression restored solemnly, and said in a low voice. The reason why I made a sudden shot just now was actually to test the mysterious floating black balls behind him. Advertisement, but I didn't expect it to have unusual power. It looks like, he seems to have the ability to change it into any shape and eliminate the ninjutsu he has touched. In this way, maybe I can try another way. As soon as this word came out, everyone was stunned for a moment. Another way, what does it mean? However, just when they were surprised, suddenly, behind Jiraiya, 2 old summoning frogs suddenly jumped out, standing on his left and right shoulders. It is the Shensha and Shima immortals of Mount Myoboku. At this time, Jiraiya's face sank directly, and he patted his hands. Carrot, dang. After a while, a strange dark red pattern immediately appeared on his face. The moment I saw this picture, the others were still stunned, but Tsunade's heart suddenly moved. This is Shanshu, she naturally recognized it immediately. The reason why Jiraiya is called Toad Sage is precisely because he has practiced celestial arts in Mount Myoboku. Shinsō is different from ordinary ninjutsu using chakra in the human body, but a state where natural energy can be used. In this state, you can use natural energy to enhance your attack and defense, and at the same time, you can use natural energy to create Shanshu chakra, which can make your own ninjutsu, physique, and illusion power leap forward. The only flaw is that the time to gather chakra is too long, so Jiraiya can maintain a very limited time. Because of this, when he uses Shanshu, he usually summons Shenzo Shenren and Jima Shenren to assist in the attack, which can extend the effect of Sage Mode. As the saying goes, any technique has weaknesses. Although Uchiha Madara's Black Ball can eliminate ninjutsu attacks indiscriminately, it is not necessarily able to eliminate Shinsō. As long as the tactics are good dogs, it is completely possible to test this, and even cause serious damage to it. There was a glimmer of hope in Tsunade's heart. While Jiraiya looked at the people around him, his face was solemn, and after slowly exhaling, he whispered in a deep voice. Next, can you use various attacks to help me temporarily suppress Uchiha Madara? As soon as Jiraiya's voice fell, the faces of several shadows suddenly condensed, and then, their eyes lit up. Chapter 294 Try this. Madara, subscription required. Advertisement no doubt, Jiraiya's words made them aware of a new hope. Since even he is confident that he can cause harm to Uchiha Madara, then maybe he can really give it a try. Thought of here, the four shadows' gazes immediately converged, and they understood their meanings in an instant. Next, they will directly and indiscriminately carry out bombing attacks on Uchiha Madara, thus creating new opportunities for Jiraiya. Although they still don't quite understand what is going on in this state of Jiraiya, his chakra aura is completely different from the normal state, but closer to the chakra of nature. This feeling gave them even more reason to believe in Jiraiya's plan. Next moment, everyone's eyes looked at Uchiha Madara above the sky again. At this time, Uchiha's eyes looked at the same, in the snow. Eyes meet. In an instant, like an invisible blade pouring out, the atmosphere was rattling. Next moment, almost at the same moment, Si Ying and the guards around him immediately launched an attack, heading towards Uchiha Madara in the sky, and besieged. The Yellow Earth style, the White Water style, the Blue Lightning style and the Crimson Fire style are surging out, like a meteor shower in the sky, directly bombarding Uchiha Madara. Storm, Boulder, Wave, Fire Dragon 090. The bright and colorful picture instantly reflected the pure white snow in a bright rainbow color. The momentum is huge, like an army. Now, the Iron Country warriors who watched the battle in the distance were all dumbfounded and froze. Nani? My god, is this the power of the shadows of the 5 ninja villages? Too strong, too strong. While the samurai sighed, they couldn't help but start to concentrate, wanting to see the development of the situation clearly. However, the scene that happened next made their faces suddenly stop and froze. Advertisement but see the sky above, standing in the snow, Uchiha Madara's face did not change, but the truth-seeking ball behind him suddenly turned into a black disc. And the next moment, the edge of the disc quickly expanded, turning into a hemispherical enchantment, directly covering his front. The huge rain stream of ninjutsu came down, and the moment it touched the truth-seeking ball enchantment, it was completely disintegrated and ceased to exist. Seeing this picture, the samurai in the distance were naturally all bewildered. However, what is different from them is the 4 shadows on this side, ACEG, obviously had already expected it. Instead of stopping the movement in their hands, they continued to start the attack and stepped up their efforts. The first to attack was 5th Mizukage and Terumi Mei. She saw her eyes dignified, her hands were sealed, and Chakra's breath appeared in her mouth instantly. The next moment, the orange acid liquid suddenly spurted towards the sky. Blood succession boundary, lava-style solving monster technique. It can directly spit out viscous and corrosive acid from the mouth by condensing chakra. Before that, she used this technique to successfully dissolve the Susanoo armor from Uchiha Madara's wood-style avatar. As Mizukage, she is not only good at using water-style ninjutsu, but also possesses the 2 bloodline limits of lava-style and boil-style, which naturally makes her fighting style extremely diverse. Choosing to use lava style is her thoughtful tactic, which is also the most likely way to destroy the black ball defense. However, unexpectedly, this time, her lava style attack did not work as well as before against Sasori. On the contrary, like the other ninjutsu just now, it is still directly resolved by the black disc. See here, the Sannin on the side suddenly understood that the attack was still going to continue. Reikage and Tsunade standing side by side, after looking at each other, stepped out at the same time. Pass. I saw the next moment, Tsunade closed her eyes tightly, put her hands together, and completed the seal. Stare. On the forehead, the diamond-shaped mark instantly changed into a black-purple pattern, suddenly spreading over the face. At the same time, the chakra aura around her suddenly rose and exploded to an extremely terrifying level. This is her hidden trump card 100 Healings mark solution. And Reikage next to her is also not idle. The long-gathered lightning-style chakra suddenly covered the whole body, the powerful air surge suddenly spread, and the lightning-style chakra mode was completed. Advertisement next moment, almost at the same moment, the two suddenly moved out. Boom. Above the ground, the huge reaction force instantly tore the earth apart, like Madara's spider web. And the two of them are like arrows from the string, shot out in an instant. The white storm and blue lightning had reached the position of Uchiha Madara in front of him in an instant. The two did not hesitate at all, their eyes were sharp, their teeth were tight, and they attacked suddenly. Since ninjutsu will be resolved, they naturally thought of using their powerful physical strength to make breakthroughs. However, just when their fist and foot attacks were about to hit. Suddenly, however, under the black barrier, Uchiha Madara suddenly let out an indifferent voice. This mindless drive is exactly the same as Hashirama. The voice hasn't fallen, suddenly, but seeing the black disc in front, suddenly change. In the next moment, it turned into 9 black thorny spears, and suddenly counterattacked towards the two people in front. Seeing this picture, Tsunade and Reikage naturally shook at the same time, and their faces changed slightly. Naturally, they did not expect that these black balls would still be used by Uchiha Madara to attack. Moreover, the speed of their changes is so fast, as if there is no preparation time at all, and no time for the opponent to react. At this time, they can no longer tolerate them. With 9 black thorn spears, 5 attacked Tsunade on the left, and 4 attacked Reikage on the right. The speed was extremely terrifying. Reikage gritted his teeth and directly raised his right hand, using his lightning-style chakra mode to directly launch a lateral bolt of pain, hitting most of the lightning-style chakra on the arm, trying to resolve the attack in front of him. At the same time, Tsunade naturally raised his right leg as well, and kicked it towards the 5 black thorn spears in front of him. The faces of the two of them were dignified and their teeth were close. Although they all knew that direct contact was not wise, at this time, there was obviously no better way. And at this moment, on the ground below, however, he saw Oyemu grinning open the corners of his mouth, and in his hands, a conical transparent white enchantment suddenly appeared. Try this. Madara, Chapter 295 Absolute Crush. The Sacred Tree Descends. Advertisement, seeking subscription. Try this. Madara. The white dust escape beam, in an instant, rushed straight into the sky and blasted toward the 6 paths Madara who was facing him. However, at this time, the scene that Onoki hadn't expected appeared. Madara snorted coldly, didn't turn her head at all, and raised her left hand, with her palm facing the dust escape spear below. What? This guy, do you want to directly resist Shenton's attack with the palm of your hand? Onoki gritted his teeth. It's useless. My dust can annihilate the substances in contact directly to the molecular level. No matter how good your palm defense is, you can't stop anything. Absorbed. Just halfway through the thought, Oyemu's pupils suddenly shrank, and his face changed drastically. Because at the moment, above the sky, the moment Shen Yun just touched the palm of 6 paths Madara, it was like entering an invisible space Uzumaki, and it was completely absorbed. After a second, the dust escape beam disappeared completely and ceased to exist. And at the moment, Madara's face was completely unchanged, but she squinted her eyes and said indifferently. Are you as dusty as your master? Useless. In front of Rinnegan's, Seal, Shen Dun really couldn't cause him any harm. At the same time, the other side above the sky, the attack formed by the truth-seeking ball also happened to collide with Tsunade and Raikage from the opponent's attack. The two clenched their teeth, obviously they were mentally prepared and exhausted all their energy. However, boom, accompanied by a deafening bombing sound, the truth-seeking ball suddenly seemed to swell, suddenly blasting the bodies of Tsunade and Raikage. All the people who saw this picture below were shocked and froze. Jing ran. Even Tsunade and Raikage, the two most powerful people, can't resist this attack. And Tsunade's leg, Raikage's right arm, were all broken at this moment. Until this moment, everyone suddenly realized, and their hearts were horrified. The black substance of 6 paths Madara can not only eliminate ninjutsu, but also possess extremely terrifying offensive power. And at this time, advertisement the attack has not stopped. I saw a low voice, suddenly coming from below 6 paths Madara. Sage Art Gomon. Boom, the moment the voice fell. Wind, oil, and fire are mixed. The crimson flames burst out like a turbulent ocean, heaven defying upward. 6 paths Madara subconsciously retracted the truth-seeking ball and turned into a disc blocking it below. However, this time truth-seeking ball failed to absorb the flame at all, and the monstrous fire instantly bypassed truth-seeking ball and directly surrounded 6 paths Madara. Madara's eyes shrank and her face moved slightly. Call. He had to jump up and activate the seal technique to suck the seal again, only to barely escape the result of being burned by the flames. But even so, there are still many places on his body that have been burned by flames. See this, the people below were first taken aback, and then their faces were suddenly happy. He is hurt. It succeeded. Jiraiya's tactical attack really worked. He successfully cracked the truth-seeking ball. He caused real damage to Uchiha Madara, who became 10 Tails Jinchuriki. At this time, looking at Uchiha Madara in the sky, Jiraiya's face was also slightly relaxed. It seems, exactly as he guessed, Uchiha Madara's black ball can eliminate ninjutsu indiscriminately, but it can't eliminate fairy. In this way, as long as he absorbs the gaps in ninjutsu and attacks with immortals, maybe. However, don't wait for him to think carefully, suddenly one. In the sky, Uchiha Madara's figure disappeared, so fast. Jiraiya was taken aback, and subconsciously felt that something was wrong. However, Uchiha Madara has already appeared behind him, waved the black Zen stick in his hand, and smashed it. The extremely fast and high-speed attack makes it difficult to see clearly, even if Jiraiya deliberately avoids it, it is too late. Boom. His body, just like Tsunade and Raikage just now, was also blown out. Puff. Blood spewed out, and a hint of incredible horror appeared in Jiraiya's pupils. Pass. After smashing into the ruins in the distance, Jiraiya raised his head with difficulty and looked at 6 paths Madara here. And at this time, Madara swept past the surrounding 5 shadows indifferently, and finally stayed on Jiraiya. He lifted his chin slightly and said indifferently. Advertisement 0. Seeking flowers. Did you think of attacking with fairy magic? Well, as a gravel, it is indeed slightly better than others. However, the playing will end here, while talking. 6 paths Madara suddenly flew into the air again, and then, condescendingly looked at the people below, indifferently. I invite you to become the nourishment of New World. The voice fell, suddenly he made a seal on his hands. Seeing this, everyone was shocked and hurriedly waited. Although I don't know what he is going to do, the words become a nourishment, don't sound very good. And at this moment, suddenly, a picture that made everyone bewildered appeared. I saw the sky above, Uchiha Madara puts her hands together plus, and suddenly, a huge chakra bursts out of his back. 0.0 Next moment, the blood-red 6-hook jade Sharingan, and the huge gray body, as if released, gradually condensed into entities. Swelling, twisting, finally, it turned into the body of 10 tails and reappeared behind Uchiha Madara. What's the situation? that guy actually vomited 10 tails. What is he doing, now, among the people below? Whether it was the injured Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Raikage, or Terumi Mei and Onoki on the other side, all froze. They have only seen Jinchuriki absorb a tail beast, and have not seen such an operation of actively vomiting the tail beast. Something is wrong. There is definitely something wrong. And at the moment, while everyone was still watching Uchiha Madara and 10 tails ahead, suddenly. Boom! Behind them, there was a huge blasting sound suddenly. Everyone quickly looked back, and everyone froze at this sight. I saw on the ground in the distance, a towering dark green giant tree suddenly broke through the ground and rose to the sky. At the same time, countless huge tree roots rushed out of the ground and rushed in all directions. P.S. I am back again, the plot is finally not far from the end, EMMMM. Chapter 296 Infinite Tsukuyomi, New World in Dreams, subscription required. Advertisement: The earth shattered, and countless huge tree roots rushed out in all directions. They are like alive, like thousands of giant snakes, chasing their prey. And at the moment, their prey is the ninjas below and the samurai legions of the Iron Kingdom. What the hell is this? How can it be repaired? I don't want to die. Countless screams sounded one after another when the roots of the tree crushed. Then, the roots of the tree are like giant snakes, completely entwining them, and they are involved in the roots of the underground. At the beginning, there are still many samurai trying to resist, but when the tree roots completely entangled them, the chakra exuding from them disappeared completely, and there was no resistance. Such a tragedy, from far to near, it happens constantly. Even the leader of the Iron Kingdom, Mifune, a samurai with powerful sword skills, avoided the fate of 107. Although he had cut off the surrounding branches, they would immediately regrow at the breakpoint, as if they had endless vitality. Finally, he couldn't escape the fate of being entangled, and he was blocked by the roots of the tree. At the last moment, he still desperately shouted out the last message. Quickly, this tree root will absorb chakra. Hearing this scream of exhaustion, everyone was stunned and shocked. Able to devour chakra's tree, what exactly is this? However, at this moment, they can't tolerate them to think carefully, and the roots of the sacred tree have already rushed over. Everyone can't take care of so much anymore. They all set off, attacking and quickly dealing with the surrounding trees, while dodge quickly to avoid being affected. Even if it was the injured Jiraiya, they had to brace themselves to avoid the attacks of the sacred tree all over the world. But damn it, if this goes on, won't you be completely suppressed by that guy? What on earth is this, and why can it have such a powerful force? Is it first Hokage's wood style? No, that's not right. This is too exaggerated. Even if it is the god of ninja, it is impossible to do this. In other words, is it the power of 10 tails? Damn it. Bang. Boom. Bass. The sound of cutting branches is endless, accompanied by the sound of dodge and conversation. In the hearts of everyone, there is no doubt that seeds of despair have begun to grow. To know, just now, even the main body of Six Paths Madara, they have been completely unable to beat. Now, even this sacred tree that can swallow chakra and grow continuously has been added. If this continues, before long, they will either be imprisoned by the sacred tree, or they can only wait for chakra to run out and die. Advertisement already, it became a defeat, now. Realizing this, everyone's faces are filled with grey despair. Only Jiraiya, it seems that his eyes are still looking around, seeming to be looking for something. Boom, rumble rumble. I don't know how long it took, the main body of the sacred tree has formed a towering giant tree, facing the full moon above the night sky. Yes, this war has fought from day to night, with the full moon in the sky. And at the moment, the four shadows and others below were already exhausted, and their faces were ashamed. Among them, there were even many people who had been entangled by the sacred tree just now. For example, Iwagakure's black soil, Kirigakure's Ao and Chojuro, etc. They were all swallowed by the sacred tree because chakra was exhausted and unable to resist. In fact, there is not much left of chakra. After the samurai group in the country of iron was completely annihilated, the whole world seemed terribly quiet, as if a storm was about to strike at any time. While avoiding the attack of the sacred tree, the four shadows looked at the Six Paths Madara above, only despair and unwillingness remained in their eyes. No doubt, this is the worst battle they have ever experienced. Now, the entire Iron Nation has been completely hollowed out, leaving them with less than 10 people who are still alive. Torment. Despair. It's hard to resist. This is what they think in their hearts now. And at this time, above the sky, Six Paths Madara looked down blankly, indifferently. Insects are so boring sometimes. Obviously, I understand in my heart that I can't resist, but I still don't want to admit defeat and linger. So, before the arrival of New World, let me answer your doubts a little bit. As soon as Madara's voice fell, everyone present was shocked. Answers to your questions? This, however, without waiting for them to respond. I heard Madara speak, and said indifferently, this world. All the sources of war come from this sacred tree, and all come from the ominous Chakra Zero. It is not only the ancestor of chakra, but also the beginning of all tragedies. This kind of tragedy cannot be eliminated. Advertisement. Even if it is another 10, 100, or 1,000 years. It's the same. The inferiority in the human bones is destined to be unable to allow the so-called love to achieve peace at all. Nani? What is this guy talking about? This sacred tree, it turned out to be the ancestor of chakra? No doubt, at this moment, all of them were dumbfounded. Before that, no one knew how the so-called chakra came into being. And now, Uchiha Madara, this is how they solved the answer. And it seems that he also considers chakra to be the source of all wars. This, everyone was silent and hard to refute, at this time. Madara suddenly raised her head again, looked at the full moon above the sky and said faintly. But it's different now. I found a way to completely end all pain and tragedy. 1. Infinite Tsukuyomi, New World. Through this full moon, let the world enter a world without chakra, no war, no pain, and no tragedy. In the world of dreams, everyone can get their own happiness, and everyone can choose their own life. 4.6. As soon as Uchiha Madara's voice fell. This time, almost everyone suddenly shrank their pupils and froze. In their expressions, there was an indescribable shock. Because, until this moment, they suddenly understood the purpose of Uchiha Madara. He started this war. The purpose is not to conquer the world or defeat the 5 shadows at all, but to launch an illusion that spreads all over the world. Infinite Tsukuyomi, mouth, thought of this. Everyone suddenly felt cold behind their backs. Before that, they couldn't understand Uchiha Madara's words and deeds, and now, they finally understand. The so-called nourishment is to be absorbed by the sacred tree again chakra. And the so-called new world is actually just a projection in the dream. Chapter 297 Fighting Against the Gods. The bright sword light finally appeared, seeking subscription. Advertisement. After hearing what Uchiha Madara said, Raikage at the bottom suddenly had blue veins on his face, clenched the fist of his left arm and roared. What kind of shit is this? Forcing everyone to enter the dreamland of illusion, is it new world? You are so wrong. Uchiha Madara, while talking. Raikage's anger grew stronger, and at this time. On the side, Onoki, Terumi Mei and others were naturally equally angry. Only Tsunade next to him seemed to have thought of something suddenly, and his expression was a bit trance. Is there no sad dream world? Seeing Tsunade's expression. Jiraiya beside him also couldn't help being silent. Of course he understood Tsunade's heart, however. But it cannot be broken at this time. After a moment of silence, a cold wind blew. Uchiha Madara stared down without joy and sorrow, shook her head faintly, and said. It seems, even if you know the truth, you still don't realize it. In that case, then, speed up the pace of New World a little bit. The voice fell, suddenly, but Uchiha Madara raised his right hand. Stare. Suddenly, a mysterious black chakra ball appeared on his right hand. Next moment, the black chakra spheres were divided into dozens in an instant, and suddenly shot in all directions. What is this guy doing? Is it going to attack again? Everyone's faces are extremely solemn, and there is no doubt that for them, who have basically exhausted chakra at this moment, it seems to be worse. And at this time, even more terrifying things happened. I saw Uchiha Madara raise her hands, faintly put her palms together, and said in a condensed voice. Planetary devastation. Boom. The black chakras flying out in front of them were suspended in all directions in the sky. In the next moment, the earth began to break apart. Immediately after, countless stones flew into the sky suddenly, and gathered towards the black chakra. Boom rumble, the deafening bursting sound keeps ringing. At the same time, above the sky, near each black chakra ball, the stones began to gather more and more. Finally, it has directly formed huge meteorites as majestic as a mountain. And at the moment, there is not only one meteorite, there are dozens of them. Advertisement. They float above the sky, block under the full moon, and almost obscure the entire sky. Is this special? Seeing this picture? This moment, all the people below were dumbfounded and froze. This strong visual impact, the terrifying sense of oppression, has almost made them unable to breathe. What the hell is this? Meteorite rain. How can anyone do such a terrifying attack? Hey. No wrong. Is Uchiha Madara still a human? This moment. Whether it's the irritable Raikage and Tsuchikage, or the steady Jiraiya and others, all are dumbfounded. Impossible. This technique, it's impossible to catch it. In terms of raindrops, it's a bit too big. Above the sky, 6 paths Madara was still expressionless, speaking lightly. And just as his voice fell, dozens of meteorites suddenly began to fall towards the ninjas below. Seeing this image full of oppression, finally, Onogi yelled. Quickly send your remaining chakra to me, I will solve it. There is no doubt that at this moment, there is no better way. Onoki decided to take a gamble with everyone's last chakra. Aware of this, the people around naturally have no extra time to think, and they put their hands on Onogi with ugly expressions to send chakra. Although everyone doesn't have much chakra left, at this time, it is clear that he needs to bet on his life. If you fight this one, you may still have a chance to survive. But if you don't try, under the attack of so many meteorites, they will undoubtedly die. Now, only Oyeki has a dusty attack with a large range and explosive attack power, and it is obviously the most reasonable method to let him solve it. With the transportation of everyone's chakra, Oyemu gritted his teeth tightly, and at the same time his hands became imprinted. The transparent white dust passed through the cube, gradually condensing into a solid shape in his palm. The meteorite was about to land, and the fierce storm blew away everything around it, and it also made them feel an extremely powerful impact. And at this moment, Onoki's power accumulation is finally over. He endured severe back pain, suddenly raised his hand, and shouted with all his strength. Dust escape boundary stripping technique. Boom. As soon as the voice fell, the majestic dusty beam suddenly rushed out, enclosing the 3 huge meteorites that fell on their face in an instant. And the next moment, a dazzling white light flashed. Stare. The 3 meteorites were instantly turned into nothingness by the dust, and they no longer exist. Successful. Everyone was overjoyed at once, and a glimmer of hope could not help but spring up. Chen Dun was eliminated as bloodline, and the power is really not covered. Advertisement, it's really strong, however, don't wait for them to get more excited. But seeing high above the sky, Uchiha Madara just waved the stick in his hand lightly and whispered. A boring trick. The voice fell off. Boom. The huge meteorite in the sky, at this moment, has changed its direction alive. A few more meteorites in a row, bombarded in their direction on the ground. Nanani. This time, everyone was pale and froze. This situation, they didn't expect it at all. The blow just now. Almost all the chakra in their bodies was exhausted, and only then did they annihilate 3 meteorites in an instant. And now 175 more attacked. This how to fight this TM. No one would have thought that Uchiha Madara could not only release this technique, but also could easily change the trajectory of the meteorite. This is completely beyond the scope of human ninjutsu. No doubt, they are indeed fighting against God, but at the moment. But they no longer had the kind of lofty ambition they had in their hearts. Uchiha Madara, it is an invincible enemy. This power that has violated the realm of the gods is already invincible. In everyone's hearts, despair is already incomparable. The world seems to be facing destruction, no longer exists. However, at this moment, suddenly, the mutation happened. I could only hear the sound of a sharp and clear sword sound in the air, suddenly broke through the air. Bass. That sound, like an arrow of thunder, shocked everyone. At the same time, suddenly, a dazzling white light suddenly shot out from a distance. Boom. In just an instant, this white light pierced through all the meteorites horizontally. Damn it. What is this? Everyone's eyes widened, and they couldn't believe what they saw before them. Awaited. Finally it's him's turn to appear. Chapter 298 Bankai Kamishini no Yari. Dancing steps with blades. Subscription required. Advertisement. Everyone is stupid. This sudden picture was something they had never imagined before. And at this time, in addition to them, the same awkward. There are Uchiha Madara in the sky, and Black Zetsu and Obito who have been watching the battle silently in the distance. Is this special? They have never noticed that there are other people. What is going on with this white light? Besides, even if there are other people, they should have been swallowed by the sacred tree just now. What happened? Now, everyone's eyes couldn't help but look in the direction that the white light came from, trying to find some flaws. However, at this time, suddenly, a clear voice sounded in the night sky. Bankai Kamishini no Yari 1 dancing step with blade. Boom. The moment the words fall, the deafening explosion suddenly sounded. A huge storm that soared into the sky from the dark night, instantly swept the entire sky, blowing away all the snow. At the same time, countless brilliant sword lights burst out, like a serial cannon, and they bombarded dozens of meteorites with fierce fierceness. Boom boom boom. The violent sword light, on top of dozens of meteorites, caused thousands of slashes in an instant. No meteorite has a chance to get out of the range of slashing. After only half a second, the sword light was as if the picture was cut, and it has disappeared. This terrifying speed, everyone present could not even see exactly what happened. And the next moment, the scene that made everyone's scalp numb appeared. I saw in the sky, at this moment, all the floating megaliths and meteorites exploded at the same time. They can't even maintain the basic state of the stones, all in the form of loose sand, they are drinking. Now, under the full moon, the sand fell everywhere like rain. After a few seconds, there were no longer any meteorites in the sky, and no more black chakras. Dozens of planetary devastation in just a few seconds, he was ruthlessly destroyed by the attack called dancing steps and blades. Nani? Hiss, this moment, don't say it's the 4 shadows below. Even Uchiha Madara above and Black Zetsu Obito in the distance were completely stupid. Their pupils were shrinking, and they couldn't believe what was happening before them. Advertisement. Even if the dust just wiped out the meteorite, it took a certain amount of time to accumulate energy, and it lasted for a while before it was done. And now, that guy in secret was solved so easily? Or did dozens of meteorites solve it together? Is he still a human? Everyone is dumbfounded. Next moment, Uchiha Madara gritted her teeth immediately, her eyes quickly turned to the dark direction, and she shouted coldly. Who, however, as soon as his voice fell, in the night sky over there, a figure gradually walked out. His brown hair was tall and firm, his handsome face looked angular in the moonlight, and his golden pupils were like flames swaying in the dark night. He was wearing a red cloud and black robe made by Akatsuki, and in his hand, he was holding a blade that shone with cold light. However, the next moment, he stepped slightly and disappeared in place. Base. Immediately after, it appeared out of thin air on the ground below, in front of the 4 shadows. So fast, at this moment, such thoughts emerged in everyone's hearts. At this time, he just smiled and looked at Jiraiya, and chuckled lightly. I hope I haven't come too late, Mr. Jiraiya. The voice fell at this moment, everyone present naturally understood it instantly. He is the one Jiraiya has been waiting for. Jiraiya said before that he was going to deal with something, so was he just going to ask him? This moment, facing the moonlight, everyone had naturally seen his face clearly. After seeing it clearly, there were several voices, and they couldn't help but start in shock at the same time. Qing Yu. Those who speak are naturally Tsunade, Kakashi, and Tsuchikage Onogi. There is no doubt that the three of them are all people who have dealt with Qing Yu directly. At this moment, nature immediately recognized it. But, after recognizing it, they were even more shocked. In the eyes of Tsunade and Kakashi, this Qing Yu is just a ninja from Rain Shinobi Village. Why would he wear this robe? It turns out that he is also a member of Akatsuki? And at this time, what they didn't know was that Tsuchikage Onoki, who was on the side, was actually even more shocked. What's wrong with this? Qing Yu from the Shao organization actually came to the rescue. Are they not a terrorist organization? The reason Oyemu knew Qing Yu was naturally because of the first meeting. Advertisement then, when Akatsuki invited Deidara, it was Qing Yu who was in charge. For some reason, Qing Yu used a weird technique to directly blast the back mountain of Iwagakure. Therefore, one key that was why Oyemu had to check the situation personally, and from this, he met Qing Yu. Everyone was stunned at once, and for a while they didn't know what to say. And in fact, not only Tsunade, Kakashi and Onoki, but even Jiraiya, are shocked now. When he first went to Rain Shinobi Village, he already knew that this Qing Yu was very strong. But I didn't expect it to be so strong to this outrageous point. The dust created by the 5 photos' combined force is only barely able to deal with 3 meteorites. And now this guy only relied on the knife in his hand to destroy all the meteorites in an instant? This is a bit exaggerated, right? And, what exactly is the Bankai, Kamishini no Yari walking blade? I have never heard of a naming method, after being shocked for a long time. Jiraiya slowed down slowly, and then shook his head with a wry smile, and said, "The next thing is probably going to be, all things please Qing Yu Si-kun." Now that their chakra has been exhausted, there is no doubt that the scene must be handed over to Qing Yu. At this time, suddenly, above the sky, there was the indifferent voice of Six Paths Madara. "Qing Yu is Xiaoji. Did not expect, at this juncture, I can see you again. I have to say, it surprised me. God Zhao," hearing this. Qing Yu raised his head and looked at Uchiha Madara above, his complexion unchanged, and he chuckled lightly. "Unexpected. Madara, your escape last time also surprised me." The voice fell, the people below were taken aback again. What is the situation with this NM? Uchiha Madara even knows this Qing Yu. And it looks like he seems to have fought Qing Yu before and escaped immediately. This damn heaven-defying is outrageous, to be honest. In this battle, they were almost overwhelmed by Uchiha Madara. Whether it's from the Susanoo clone at that time, to the later devouring 10 tails, to the present planetary devastation. Each picture shocked them too much, so now, they are really unimaginable. Uchiha Madara, the old guy, will run away too? Chapter 299. When did you have the illusion that I used ninjutsu? Seeking subscription? Advertisement. Hear Qing Yu's words. Uchiha Madara's face did not change unnecessarily, he just remained indifferent and authentic. It's the advantage of your tongue. I have to admit, your strength is really good. To destroy all meteorites in such a short period of time, Madara would like to call you the strongest. But, I am back to the top now, and to me, your strength is still vulnerable. Speaking of which, he no longer hesitated, and instantly waved the stick in his hand. Stare. I saw all the truth-seeking balls instantly turned into sharp pitch-black spears, bombarding towards Qing Yu below. Be careful. Qing Yu, his black attack can eliminate ninjutsu. Jiraiya on the side reminded him anxiously. After all, in this kind of battle between masters, intelligence is particularly important. What's more, facing a powerful enemy like Uchiha Madara. And at the moment, it's too late to say, then soon. Base. The 9 dark spears have already accelerated their speed and blasted directly at Qing Yu. But at this moment, Qing Yu still looked leisurely and said lightly. The 81 of Bakudo splitting void, boom. The voice fell, the fierce Ryatsu burst out in an instant, turning into a barrier that fell from the sky, instantly cutting off the sky and the earth. Bang. The truth-seeking ball spear is about to rush down, blasting on Qing Yu's sky. Six Paths Madara looked cold and calmly said, 107, it's useless. Didn't you hear me just now? The power of truth-seeking ball can eliminate all forbearance, huh? However, before the voice fell, he suddenly froze. Because of this moment, all his truth-seeking ball attacks, after hitting the splitting void, not only did not eliminate them, but instead, they were all blocked. Just when he was stunned, Qing Yu raised his eyes and looked over, chuckling softly. After the resurrection and the power of Rinnegan and 10 tails, your confidence is really overwhelming. But when did you start to have the illusion that the technique I used was ninjutsu? Nani? As soon as Qing Yu's voice fell. At this moment, not only Uchiha Madara, but also the Uchiha leader in the distance, as well as Jiraiya Tsunade and others here, all froze. No, not ninjutsu. What is it that he uses? There is no need to seal the release, the fluctuation of chakra is weak, and it is also bursting in intensity. This is too incredible, advertisement everyone is stupid. And at this moment, Uchiha Madara's face sank, and finally realized that he seemed a little too underestimated. He clenched the Zen stick in his hand and seemed to want to rush down to fight Qing Yu in close combat. However, just as he was preparing to act, suddenly. Stare. The golden light that emerged from 6 paths out of thin air suddenly rushed out, from 6 directions, immediately surrounding Uchiha Madara's body. In an instant, it was tightly sealed. His body was so stagnant in the air, he couldn't go down even one step. What is this? Uchiha Madara's pupils are shrinking slightly. It is hard to imagine that this Qing Yu still has so many techniques that the master has never seen before. Qing Yu calmly raised his eyes, smiled and retracted his hand, saying, 61 of Bakudo 6 Rod Light Prison, at this time. Hearing this voice, Uchiha Obito below, his face was stagnant, and he suddenly remembered. When he and Qing Yu set out for the first time, they had witnessed Qing Yu using this technique to directly block Orochimaru's actions. Unexpectedly, I saw once again that Uchiha Madara was actually used. It's too ridiculous. However, what is different from him at this moment is. The 5 shadows on this side were in a daze. All of them were extremely surprised. Hiss. What are these techniques? Unheard of. Too strong. Even Uchiha Madara in this state can be restrained. Could it be that it is true that Qing Yu just said that Uchiha Madara escaped before the battle? Everyone looked at each other, and it became more and more possible. And at this moment, Uchiha Madara gritted her teeth, condensing her reputation downward. In that case, you can only, however, it is not waiting for him to think about it. Suddenly, a voice suddenly appeared from behind him. Hey! Don't worry, our round is not over yet. Next, please feel it. I will wait for the power of Akatsuki, Uchiha Madara. Boom! Before the calm voice fell, suddenly a young boy's bohemian shout came out from the darkness. ACEG, aha! First try the art I prepared specially for you, C2 the dragon. Boom! The voice fell. A yellow-haired young man in a Shao robe suddenly rushed out of the invisible air. At the same time, a huge clay bomb swelled in an instant, and finally turned into the shape of a giant dragon, completely surrounding the body of Uchiha Madara. Boom! The bursting flames rose like the sun, illuminating the entire night sky. Seeing this picture, everyone below was suddenly shocked. Is it Akatsuki? Advertisement. The other members of Akatsuki's organization are here too? And at this time, seeing that picture, only Onoki's face changed and he was stunned. Deidara, his old face suddenly stiffened and was stunned. He never thought that he would be helped by this guy one day after killing him. And at this time, don't wait for the explosion to dissipate. 2 abrupt figures rushed out from the left and right of Uchiha Madara. Go on, Hidan, woohoo! I've been waiting for a long time. Those who rushed out were Hidan and Kakuzu. Obviously, their timely coordinated attack at this moment was already planned. Seeing this picture, Uchiha Madara's pupils suddenly condensed. Shout! Where did these guys just hide? At this moment, although he wanted to act, the 6 rods of light still bound him completely. At this moment, Hidan's sickle was quickly pulled towards Uchiha Madara's body, and he successfully obtained a bit of his blood. And the next moment, when he fell to the ground, he had already drawn the spell Circle of Death Siping's blood, and he stood in the middle. At this time, Kakuzu's attack came just in time, directly enclosing Uchiha Madara and Hidan below. Fire style head hard. Boom! Hidan, who was hit by the explosion, spit out a mouthful of blood, but his expression seemed extremely happy. It's cool. At this time, Uchiha Madara, who was entangled, even though he was not injured by Kakuzu's fire style, suddenly spewed out a bit of blood. Obviously, Hidan's death division succeeded in sharing the damage with him by the power of blood. At this time, before he could react, next moment. The last 2 figures rushed out. It was Nagato and Konan. The moment Uchiha Madara saw the 2 of them clearly, Uchiha Obito was taken aback, and Uchiha Obito below was also taken aback. This, Nagato actually appeared in the body, however. Before they think about it, but when I saw Konan next to him, countless detonating charms suddenly floated on his body, and he blasted directly at Uchiha Madara indiscriminately. There is no hesitation on her face. Obviously, everything is within the plan. Countless detonating charms reacted continuously, and the explosion continued to bombard, making people completely unable to see the Uchiha Madara inside. And the next moment, the explosion has just ended. Above the sky, Nagato suddenly folded his hands together, staring at this side with a lavender rinnegan, and said in a deep voice. That's it, Madara, Earth Explosion Skystar, P.S. At the end of the countdown, there are probably less than 5 chapters left. Well, this chapter can be regarded as the selfishness of the dog author. I want to try to use words to restore the scene of Shao organizing a group in Ultimate Storm. When did you have the illusion that I will be a eunuch? Funny. Chapter 300 Powerful enough to kill Shinigami, whose name is Bankai, subscription required. Advertisement. The voice fell. Nagato raised his hands up. Boom. Countless rocks suddenly rushed from the ground and blasted directly to Uchiha Madara in the center. After just a few seconds, a huge sphere resembling the meteorite Madara was formed, completely sealing Uchiha Madara. This moment, finally, the world is quiet. No one made a sound. However, everyone's eyes were focused on Akatsuki's group of 6 and planetary devastation. Seeing, Jiraiya and others were silent. Kakashi raised his eyes and looked at the quiet floating meteorite above, with a dazed expression, and said, Is the knot over? Uchiha Madara, sealed by Akatsuki? Everyone naturally held their breath and concentrated their attention. However, before the last minute, they naturally dare not draw a conclusion directly. However, at this time, suddenly, there was a boom. I don't know when, but seeing those truth-seeking balls below, they suddenly rushed to the side of planetary devastation and blasted directly towards the meteorite. Bang! In just an instant, 9 dark spears completely shattered the entire meteorite. The seal of Uchiha Madara is lifted. Nagato and others suddenly changed their expressions, and quickly moved away, and they also came to the bottom. At this time, Uchiha Madara floating high in the sky, for some reason, the surrounding 6 light prisons have disappeared. And those injuries on his body have completely recovered. Seeing this picture, everyone in the Shao organization suddenly felt tight. After looking at each other, they instantly understood. It seems, after fusing 10 tails, this guy really completed the transformation. Not only did his strength become stronger, he still had such a strong high-speed regeneration resilience. It seems that, as Qing Yu said before, it is really unrealistic to defeat him in this ordinary way. At this moment, he looked down from a condescending manner, his face was indifferent, and he said solemnly. A painless attack, extremely boring, in that case. Then speed up Infinite Tsukuyomi's pace a little bit. The moment the voice fell, I saw Uchiha Madara instantaneously and moved to the side of the sacred tree. The next moment, he put his arm on the main trunk of the sacred tree. The time is ripe. The time to put everything together, it's time. After the words fell, Uchiha's heart moved, and he turned into chakra immediately by the big sacred tree, and was absorbed by him. Seeing this picture, everyone around froze. This. Was it absorbed again? However, what they don't know is. In fact, just when he was blocked, he heard a weird sound from the sacred tree and asked him to absorb the sacred tree. This is where the scene is now. Boom. The absorbed sacred tree is like being involved in half of an unknown Uzumaki, quickly twisted, and finally, all disappeared. Advertisement till the end, the sacred tree disappeared, and the chakra on Uchiha Madara's body skyrocketed again. After a while, he turned around and looked at everyone here, his eyes finally fell on Qing Yu's face, and said indifferently. Since you are so conceited, then, why don't you come and experience the true power of the gods, of Infinite Tsukuyomi? The voice fell off. Base. Uchiha Madara soared into the sky and flew high above the sky. Nani, what is he going to do? Are you going to start performing that hypnosis world illusion? Terumi Mei gritted her teeth, not reconciled. If Uchiha Madara were to successfully launch this technique, wouldn't it be a complete failure? However, at this moment, they are already difficult to stop. Uchiha Madara flew up so fast, it's hard to believe that someone else can stop it. At this time, above the sky, Uchiha Madara stared at the full moon above, with a cold face. He snapped off his forehead protector, and said in a low voice. According to the content on the stele, when the owner of the power of reincarnation approaches the moon, the eye of the moon, used to realize the infinite dream will open. The voice hasn't fallen. Stare. I saw a round of blood-red jade Sharingan in the center of his forehead, opening his eyes. At the same time, above the moon, suddenly began to reflect the same pupil pattern. It is like a giant eye of the devil, above the universe, overlooking the world. Seeing this, Uchiha Madara's mouth opened wide, showing a satisfied smile. Everything, as expected, is the same as that of the stone tablet. Then, just follow the method on the stone tablet and use moonlight to launch illusions to the whole world. And at this time, when everyone below saw the weird pattern on the moon, they were shocked. No, it's going to start. Damn it, is there no way to stop him? Everyone suddenly paled, clenched their teeth, clenched their fists, and their hearts were filled with despair and unwillingness. According to Uchiha Madara, next, moonlight will hypnosis all people in the world. Everyone, all will be hypnosis without exception until they die. Thought of here, a feeling of despair rose in everyone's hearts. I thought Akatsuki was here, maybe it was time for a turnaround, but I didn't expect Uchiha Madara to succeed. And at the moment, on the other side in the distance, Uchiha Obito and Black Zetsu who watched the battle silently, although their faces remained unchanged, their hearts were equally turbulent. Obito looked at the moon above with a daze. Infinite Tsukuyomi. Is it going to happen like this? Lin, I will come to you soon, in that world without sorrow. At this time, Black Zetsu on the side is different from Obito, his eyes are already shining, and his heart is extremely excited. Too long. I have waited too long. Finally, in this era, under Uchiha Madara, this perfect chess piece, it is finally about to succeed. Mother, wait for me. Advertisement once Infinite Tsukuyomi is completed, I will sneak attack Uchiha Madara to get you out of that damn moon seal. In his opinion, at this moment, Moon Eye is basically completed. Just wait for Uchiha Madara's seal to be completed. 0. For flowers. Everything, it's over. However, at this time, on the other side, Jiraiya and others were unwilling to give up like this. He gritted his teeth and looked at Qing Yu weakly, saying, Qing Yu, can't even you have no choice? The voice fell. Everyone looked at Qing Yu. Their eyes were full of despair, but at the same time, there was still the last glimmer of light. Because in their opinion, now, Qing Yu has become the only hope. Among all the people present, he is the only one who can smash Uchiha's meteorite instantly. Only he can stop Uchiha Madara's truth-seeking ball. Moreover, only he can easily restrain Uchiha Madara and let Akatsuki complete the group output. If anyone can stop Uchiha Madara, maybe, only him. At this moment, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Terumi Mei, Onoki, Reikajai, Kakashi, Akatsuki. Everyone present stared at Qing Yu. 0, however. Qing Yu didn't seem to mean to leave. He just slowly raised the silver short sword in his hand, and the tip of the knife was facing Uchiha Madara in the moonlight above the night sky. Seeing this picture, Seeing and the others froze for a moment, and then suddenly felt regretful in their hearts. Just hitting this ground is at the height of Uchiha Madara, but there is a distance of several kilometers. So far away, even if this sword is a retractable ninja, it is impossible to hit Uchiha Madara before the completion of the seal. What's more, today's Uchiha Madara has the ability of high-speed regeneration. Even if it hits, it may not be able to stop it. However, just when everyone was completely confused, suddenly, I saw Qing Yu raise his eyes, the golden pupils shining like flames, smiling and saying, "Aren't you curious about what Bankai is just now? Then I will tell you." The voice fell. Qing Yu's right hand was gently pressed on the blade, and Ryotsu instantly poured out like a sea tide, while at the same time, he still chuckled leisurely. "The power that can kill Shinigami Ming, whose name is Bankai." The voice fell off. Boom. An extremely bright and violent blade light instantly rose from Qing Yu's hands to the sky, turned into a bright blade, and burst out suddenly. In a moment, Ryotsu, who was extremely violent, penetrated the entire world. It's fast. It has reached the point where the naked eye can't see it at all. They are relatively close, and they can even clearly feel the burning sensation of the air as if it was split instantly. And the end of that terrifying knife light has penetrated the figure above the sky, Uchiha Madara. Seeing this incredible picture, the audience is dead. Everyone's eyes widened, and their pupils shrunk to the smallest possible, like hell. End the countdown. After a long absence, I asked for a flower ticket. I don't know how many big brothers are still watching EMMMM. Chapter 301 The Sword of Godslayer, The Withering of the Legend, Seeking Subscription. Advertisement. What's the situation? A few kilometers high in the sky, the knife just flew up. And also NM accurately hit? This TM is too outrageous, right? This moment, don't say it was Seeing and Jiraiya Kakashi and the others, even everyone in the Akatsuki organization would have their eyes widened, and they would be silly. This NM is Qing Yu's big trick? Everyone was dumbfounded. And at this time, Konan, the only one on the side, only had his eyes gleaming slightly, without showing any extra surprised expression. After all, she has seen this scene before. Just many years ago, in the boundless desert of the Kingdom of Wind. Then, following the guidance of the masked man Uchiha Obito, Konan went to 107 to invite a new member, Sasori of Akasha. Result, just when I was about to find, but he accidentally witnessed the battle between Sasori and Qing Yu of the Red Sand. It seems to be to test the general strength. At that time, Qing Yu also used this sword skill that must kill. Not only did it directly penetrate the Sasori of the Red Sand, the knife light also extended a few kilometers away. At that time Konan realized that Qing Yu's strength was far above cage level, so he arbitrarily advocated to invite him back. Did not expect after so many years have passed, I can still see this magical sword technique. While he was thinking, now, Qing Yu's eyes moved slightly, and the knife in his hand shook, and Ryotsu erupted. Pass. Above the sky, Uchiha Madara was directly blasted down. The smoke and dust everywhere made the scene become chaotic. Everyone is dumbfounded. This also works, and at this moment, the Uchiha Madara in the front gradually walked out of the smoke. At this moment, a large part of his body is missing. But even so, he still gritted his teeth, holding Qing Yu here, and said in a deep voice. "No, useless. Advertisement, I am now in eternal existence, just a knife. This kind of injury can be recovered at any time. You can never stop the arrival of New World. I can never stop infinite Tsukuyomi." While talking, Uchiha Madara seems to be trying to heal herself subconsciously. However, at this moment, he was suddenly stunned. Do not know why, at this moment, his body is as if it has been corroded by some invisible force, and it has begun to peel off. Seeing this picture, at this moment, not only him, but the four shadows in the distance, Obito and Black Zetsu on the other side, are all stunned. How is this possible? Uchiha Madara, who combines 10 tails and the power of the sacred tree, is dying. Everyone was dumbfounded, and the next moment, almost everyone looked at Qing Yu in an instant. No doubt, it's his power. It is precisely because of his light from the sword that he created everything in front of him. Aware of this, Uchiha Madara's face was suddenly hard to look, and while maintaining a standing posture with difficulty, he said solemnly. What did you do, Shaoji Qing Yu? What is this power?" Speaking of last, his voice almost turned into a roar. Obviously, the situation at this moment, even if he has always been stable, is finally not calm. And at the moment, under the moonlight, in the eyes of everyone, Qing Yu just smiled and raised the silver-white short sword in his hand, and said with a chuckle. "It's very simple. The name of this knife is Kamishini no Yari, but it's Zanpakutō. As long as I want, I can easily sever all souls. And the inside of this knife contains a drama that can dissolve cells at the speed of light. Just now, at the moment I penetrated you, I also left some fragments of the blade in your body. Thus, either your body or your soul will gradually wither and die. So just awaken now." Advertisement under the moonlight, Qing Yu explained with an expression leisurely, as if everything were very normal. However, after listening to this passage, the audience was silent for an instant. Fallen into a dead silence. What? Zanpakutō, cut off all souls. The blade fragments can still emit poisonous cells that dissolve cells? These words are already incomprehensible power for them. The attack range and attack speed of this knife had already left them dumbfounded. As a result, there are so many outrageous abilities now? No, impossible. How can there be such a ninja? Uchiha Madara's face is ugly, and he still growls hard. But with this broken body, in the constant withering, finally unable to support his standing. But Qing Yu's expression remained the same, just indifferently. I never said it was a ninja, it's just that you thought so wishfully, goodbye. When the voice fell, Qing Yu raised his left hand and said indifferently. Let me give you one last ride. 4.6, the 90 of Hado. Black coffin. Bang, as soon as the voice fell. Countless torrents of gravity appeared instantly, directly enveloping Uchiha Madara's body. A black enchantment like a giant square coffin was formed. Next moment, when the rushing disappeared, Uchiha Madara's body was already turned into a wreck. This invincible legend, at this moment, withered completely. Sorry, chapters 302 to 304 are still on schedule and have not been sent out yet. Don't subscribe to 305 too soon. P.S. No eunuch. I will fill in the last pit. Chapter 302. The true purpose of Akatsuki's organization is to change the world of ninja, seeking subscription. Advertisement. The world returned to silence again. And above the sky, the full moon also returned to its original appearance. Infinite Tsukuyomi pursued by Uchiha Madara all her life. At this moment, still headed for failure. And until this time, whether it is Shikage and Jiraiya, or Obito and Black Zetsu, they still haven't even reacted. Because, all of these, all happened in just a few seconds. From Uchiha Madara's body began to disintegrate, until he was buried by Qing Yu's black coffin. There is no resistance at all, this moment. In the distance, Black Zetsu and Obito glanced at each other, and they both froze. Is this the end? What happened? For a while, they couldn't even confirm whether it was an illusion. Frozen directly in place, on the other side of O2. Seeing, Jiraiya and the others finally breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at Qing Yu's gaze, a strong surprise also began to appear. No doubt, this terrifying power level has completely exceeded their imagination. If the power of Uchiha Madara can be called God, then Qing Yu is someone who can kill the gods. Its true power is still above the gods. Finally, Jiraiya stood up, looked at Qing Yu here, and said seriously. Thank you for everything you have done for us, Qing Yu-kun. If it weren't for you, the ninja world might be destroyed today. As soon as the voice fell, Onoki, Terumi Mei and others on the side could not help but nod their heads. It is true. Advertisement after all, they have already exhausted all their strength in the process of fighting the sacred tree and Uchiha Madara. Now, without chakra, they can't stop the actions of Uchiha and others at all. Just when they were ready to speak, thank Qing Yu and others. This moment, suddenly, Qing Yu turned his head. He stared at Si Ying and Jiraiya and others with a smile, and said with a light smile. Don't worry, thank you. Akatsuki's dispatch did not come without a price. As soon as Qing Yu's voice fell, everyone present suddenly froze and was stunned. However, before they could react, suddenly, the mutation happened. Shit. But listening to my ears, a few sounds like the wind passing by. And the next moment, all the members of Akatsuki, Nagato, Konan, Kisame, Deidara, Hidan, Kakuzu, all at the same time. In this short moment, they directly controlled all the people present. Nagato raised his hand and immediately controlled Jiraiya and Kakashi. And Konan, holding a handful of paper kunai in his hand, controlled Tsunade. Kisame holds Samahata in his hand and controls Mizukage, Terumi Mei and Ching. In Deidara's hands, two clay bombs emerge, directly controlling Tsuchikage, Onoki and Akato. Kakuzu and Hidan partnered to control the rest, next moment. In the scene, all the people were controlled in an instant. At this moment, let alone seeing and others, even Uchiha Obito and Black Zetsu on the other side are directly dumbfounded. FK? What's the situation? Didn't Akatsuki come to the rescue? How come the Si Ying was suddenly controlled directly? What is this development? In an instant, the audience was dead silent, and everyone's breathing and heartbeat could almost be heard directly. And until then, on the side, Tsuchikage Onogi looked at Deidara beside him. His face was very ugly, and he said solemnly. Advertisement, what's the matter? Deidara, you know what on earth are you going to do? So, is this your goal? As soon as the voice fell. Jiraiya on the side also looked at Nagato. Nagato, what do you want to do? Is this threatening the four shadows? The voice fell. Nagato only lowered his eyes slightly, his face was extremely calm, and said softly and authentically. Feel sorry, your peace theory is no longer applicable to this era. The ninja world must have a revolution, Ms. Jiraiya. Nagato's face was sullen, and he spoke slowly, after hearing this. Not only Jiraiya, but almost everyone has a shocking expression on their faces. Change? It turns out that this is the real purpose of Akatsuki's coming here? Thought of here, the irritable Raikage suddenly became angry in his heart and clenched his fists. However, when his 107 hand moved slightly, suddenly. Stare. Kakuzu's hand was directly pinched on Raikage's throat, and he said solemnly. Honestly, Raikage, what do you want to do in a situation where you have little chakra left? Or, do you think you have the strength to oppose Akatsuki? After hearing Kakuzu's words, everyone present suddenly realized it for a while, and their hearts suddenly shrank. They suddenly understood why did Shao make a move at this time? Because at the moment, they have almost completely exhausted chakra and physical energy in the battle with Madara just now. And Akatsuki members, to put it bluntly, all are in full condition. Even Qing Yu, who has just fought Uchiha Madara, looks very relaxed. This gap in strength has been completely widened to the largest. If they are still in full condition, say no, there is still a possibility of escape. But now, it is absolutely impossible. Chapter 303 Black Zetsu digs his heart. The real chaos, subscribe. Advertisement. Aware of this, everyone's faces are suddenly extremely difficult to look. Kakashi slowly raised his face, looked at Qing Yu unwillingly, and said in a condensed voice. Qing Yu, what do you want to do? Kill us, and then unify the ninja world, like Uchiha Madara. Now, the reason why he spoke to Qing Yu, naturally, it is because I have sensed the position of Qing Yu's boss. And after the voice fell, Qing Yu's complexion remained unchanged, just chuckled and shook his head, saying, well, this is too wrong. I have no grievances with everyone present, and there is no need to kill you. Therefore, as long as you cooperate, I can guarantee that both you and the 5 ninja villages will be safe and sound. But if you don't cooperate, I'm sorry, not only will you die here. Your Shinobu village is about to be destroyed by the Akatsuki organization. Qing Yu smiled and looked at the people in front of him and said calmly. It was as if what he was telling was just something trivial. But as soon as the voice fell behind, everyone present froze stiffly. What? If you don't cooperate, you will destroy the entire ninja village. This what exactly is his request? Everyone looked at Qing Yu with incredible eyes. And Qing Yu naturally knows that they are ready to listen to the conditions. So, calmly put away the knife in his hand, then raised a finger and said with a light smile. Your 5 ninja villages, from today, you must unconditionally and follow the arrangements of Rain Shinobi Village Akatsuki. All wars must be confirmed by Akatsuki, from now on. There is no longer an independent 5 ninja village. It is to establish a ninja alliance with Rain Shinobi Village as the absolute core. Instead of the big names of the 5 major countries, they have absolute control over the big ninja villages. Therefore, we will also ensure that every Shinobu village will not be affected by the war and will be peaceful forever. But if you disagree, it's very simple. We will all be dispatched to erase your ninja village from the map in one day. Speaking of last, in Qing Yu's golden pupils, a golden light shone, and the invisible Ryotsu instantly descended on everyone's bodies. Advertisement. This terrifying coercion was instantly like an invisible big hand, directly suppressing their souls. It makes it difficult for them to breathe smoothly. This moment, they actually experienced the fear of being dominated by absolute power. As said earlier, this is not a deal at all. It was Akatsuki who initiated the ninja world reform. While everyone was shocked, they were also caught in an incomparable entanglement and suffering in their hearts. If you disagree, then, Shinobu Village may really face the blow of Akatsuki. And judging from their current lineup, not to mention all the members, just to Qing Yu, it is enough to directly erase the entire village. But if you just agree, it is equivalent to surrendering the entire village to a brand new force, which is really unacceptable. At this moment, the expressions on Seeing and others' faces became equally difficult. But at this moment, suddenly, from behind Qing Yu, a black figure suddenly emerged from the ground. Afterwards, he raised the pitch black hand, and attacked directly towards Qing Yu's back. It is Black Zetsu. That action is almost exactly the same as when he attacked Uchiha Sasuke at that time. Seeing this picture, everyone was suddenly shocked. And the next moment, Sing, Black Zetsu's hand directly penetrates Qing Yu's body. Wait. Is it the afterimage? When everyone saw this picture, their eyes widened, like hell. What Black Zetsu pierced through, turned out to be just an afterimage. At this time, Qing Yu has already appeared behind Black Zetsu. At the same time, the knife in his hand gave a light wave. Boom. The extremely violent golden Ryotsu gushes out like a sea tide and slashes directly on Black Zetsu's body. It blasted directly into the air, and the next moment. Before everyone could react, Qing Yu directly raised a hand and said indifferently. Using the same method, let's go to your funeral. 90 of Hado, Black Coffin. Boom. As soon as the voice fell, the invisible and terrifying Black Ryotsu instantly sealed off Black Zetsu's body. Advertisement. In the next moment, puff puff. Countless Ryotsu rushed, smashing Black Zetsu's body completely. Zanpakutō's knife plus deadly Hado, let it dissipate in an instant. At the last moment, its heart still roared unwillingly. Why. Obviously planning for so many years, finally, it's time to finally unblock Mother. Why did it fail? However, at this moment, no one can answer this question for him anymore. When Black Coffin dissipated, on the ground, only a puddle of viscous black liquid remained. But there is no longer any vitality at all. Qing Yu looked there faintly, expressionlessly. Asterisk. This trick, Black Zetsu's heart, is useless to me. In fact, Qing Yu naturally discovered Black Zetsu and Obito over there a long time ago. But he didn't put them in his eyes, so he chose to negotiate with Seeing first. But I didn't expect that this guy would dare to sneak up directly. But no matter how fast his speed is, it is much slower than Qing Yu's Shunpo. Get Zhao. And at this time, after watching Qing Yu's smooth counter kill, the 4 shadows present, including Jiraiya Kakashi and others, were all stunned. What power is this? This horrible movement speed, horrible hand knife, and horrible Black Coffin spell? Is this guy really human? This moment, in their minds, there are only 2 words about Qing Yu's tricks just now. Kill indiscriminately. That's right, it's an absolute killing. Judging from his always calm expression, he has never been serious at all. Aware of this, in everyone's hearts, despair deepened. In this way, maybe, I have to agree to his request. Middle. Chapter 304 The Truth About Qing Yu and the Fox Ghost. All plans are over here, subscription required. Advertisement. When everyone is thinking, Qing Yu suddenly turned his head again, looked at Uchiha Obito over there, suddenly chuckled, and said, "Yo, long time no see. My dear junior, intern Afei. Why, are you planning to give it a go here too?" Qing Yu stared at Obito and spoke leisurely, and at the moment. Under the moonlight, hearing this, Obito's breathing suddenly stopped. Then, suddenly I didn't know how to pull out a pure white scroll from there. The moment he saw this white scroll, Qing Yu's eyes moved slightly. In the distance, Nagato and Konan couldn't help but move slightly. Ah, why is this scroll so familiar? But not waiting for them to think carefully. Seeing that side, Obito held the scroll tightly, his face ugly and solemnly said, "Don't be too proud, Qing Yu. In this world, there are still powers that Akatsuki can't defeat, have you forgotten? That is, Suya Palace," Obito said heavily, and finally, he unrolled the scroll in an instant, and slammed his hand up. Bang! The white 107 smoke exploded. Seeing this picture, the four shadows and others in the distance were suddenly shocked. Suya Palace? Is it the mysterious Suya Palace? And at this time, Raikage's expression changed suddenly. He suddenly remembered, at the beginning, in the city of Qing Yu, the country of fire, he once gave the white sword fox ghost of the Void Knight Palace Pale. Did not expect. Is that masked man going to use Suya Palace to deal with Shao organization? In this way, maybe, things will turn around. Advertisement. However, just when he thought of here, suddenly, something embarrassing happened. But I saw Obito's body, and above the scroll, after the white smoke gradually dissipated, nothing appeared. There was silence all around, including Uchiha Obito himself, all stunned. What's going on? ACEG, that fox ghost, told me that as long as this is the case, he can summon the Void Palace. In Obito's heart, he roared in surprise at this moment. I don't know why at all. At this time, on the other side, Konan just opened his mouth, expressionlessly. Enlighten, Uchiha Obito, from the beginning, you didn't understand what the so-called Suya Palace is. As soon as Konan's voice fell, suddenly, not only Obito, but Seeing and the others were all taken aback. At this time, but see the front, Qing Yu stared at Obito in front of him, raised his right hand with a smile, and said, "What you said about the fox ghost in the Suya Palace, do you mean this?" As soon as the voice fell, in Qing Yu's hands, the moon-white Ryotsu suddenly appeared. At the next moment, I saw him indifferently, hollow. Randomly, lift the moon-white light in your hand and place it in front of your face. Next moment, the picture that shocked everyone present appeared. The moment the white light touched Qing Yu, it suddenly turned into a mask like a fox ghost. The next moment, starting from Qing Yu's hair, his whole body seems to fade. All suddenly turned into a bright moon white, this state. It's exactly the same as the fox ghost back then. Even the powerful feeling of oppression like a beast is no different. Seeing this picture, advertisement. In addition to Nagato and Konan, everyone present, including Deidara and Kakuzu and others, their eyes widened and froze. And Obito is even a question mark, directly dumbfounded. What's the situation? Qing Yu turned into a fox ghost. These two people with completely different breaths and fighting styles are the same? Boom. Realizing this, his mind was like a bolt from the blue sky, suddenly exploded. No, impossible. You can never be a fox ghost. I have seen the battle between the two of you with my own eyes. Obito's face was horrified, and he growled in disbelief. But at this moment, Qing Yu did not respond to him, but a black prop appeared on his hand, and then instantly injected Ryotsu. Next moment, bang. This prop instantly expanded, transformed into a human form, and finally became the appearance of Qing Yu. This is Qing Yu's classic prop, the portable corpse. And at the moment, after seeing this picture, Obito in the distance suddenly turned pale, and his pupils gradually lost his senses. This original, is this the truth? The so-called Suya Palace fox is completely just a scene? There was a sudden shock in Obito's heart, and he was frustrated almost in an instant. Looking in the direction of Qing Yu, Obito finally realized that he might no longer be able to fight anymore. This man, too strong. Two identities, no matter which one they are enough to suppress the entire ninja world. Now, Uchiha Madara is dead and Black Zetsu is killed. Chakra, the nine-tailed beast, will undoubtedly restart the cycle. All plans, it's all over here. Chapter 305 The Last Death. Let's go. Return to Rain Shinobi Village, seeking subscription. Advertisement. Sorry, I made a mistake in uploading. There are 3 chapters in the middle. I will send it out immediately. Aware of this, Obito looked at Qing Yu's direction, and for some reason, he became extraordinarily calm. After a long silence, finally, then he lowered his eyes and said indifferently. Ended. I lost Qing Yu. Now, kill me, let me go and see Lin. When I said this, there was hardly any fluctuation in his tone. As if, a long time ago, this is what he has accepted. Hearing this, Kakashi, who was controlled in the distance, was taken aback for a moment, and was taken aback. His expression showed a momentary unbearable, but at the moment, nothing can be changed. However, Qing Yu didn't shoot directly, but turned his head, looked at the 4 shadows on this side again, and chuckled. Everyone, now, is it time to tell me the answer? Do you choose to surrender to Rain Shinobi Village and Akatsuki, or choose to die with the village? When the voice fell, everyone suddenly recovered from the shock. And this time, the expressions of almost everyone had become a lot pre-defeated. No doubt, after confirming Qing Yu's fox ghost identity, the oppression in their hearts became stronger. After all, to know in his hand, there is also Sharingan from the Uchiha clan. As long as he wants, you can create a terrifying Sharingan army at any time. And at that time, coupled with Akatsuki's words, the entire ninja world will have no resistance. The innocent people in the village will also be devastated. As a shadow, can they really allow this to happen? After a long silence, finally, Tsunade was the first to raise his hand and said with great weight. Konoha village chose to cooperate. I surrender to Rain Shinobi village in the name of 5th Hokage. After speaking extremely slowly, Tsunade's expression suddenly became bitter. Jiraiya and Tsunade on the side looked over, and their expressions fell helplessly. If it only concerns them, perhaps they will choose to defend the village by dying. But now, the lives of the entire village are weighed on them. Advertisement: if you don't compromise in this way, all innocent lives will die because of them. Therefore, this is no choice. After Tsunade spoke, a moment. Terumi Mei finally lowered her head and whispered in a trance. Kirigakure agreed to cooperate. Then, Onogi glanced at the two Tsunade beside him, and shook his head helplessly, saying, "Announce the surrender in the name of 3rd Tsuchikage." After saying this, his face looked even older, finally. Raikage also lowered his head and nodded slowly, the representative agreed. The audience fell into silence. Vaguely, the breathing of everyone can be heard, and it seems that there are still people sighing. At this time, Qing Yu smiled, slowly put the knife in his hand into its sheath, and said with a smile. It seems, everyone is a person who knows the big picture. If this is the case, then our cooperation can be achieved. Month later, we will be in Rain Shinobi village, waiting for you to participate in the first Dawn Alliance meeting. If you betray today's agreement by then, or deliberately not come to participate, please bear the consequences. After talking, the seeing and others here are naturally speechless. Obviously, in that month, it is also equivalent to the time left for them to go back to the village to explain. After a moment of silence, Qing Yu raised his eyes, looked at the Shao organization people in front of him, and smiled. Let's put them away. The shady scene in the ninja world is over for the time being. We Shao, it's time to leave for now. Goodbye, everyone. As soon as the voice fell, Qing Yu turned around, looked at Uchiha Obito in front, and chuckled lightly. Let's go. Let's have a good chat too, intern. As soon as the voice fell, Obito, who was already disheartened, didn't have the mood at all at this moment. When his eyes were low, he stared at Qing Yu faintly, slowly saying, "No need. From here, let's end. Use your Zanpakutō and end my life." The voice fell. Qing Yu couldn't help but was slightly startled, as if he hadn't expected it, then his eyes drooped slightly. 0. Look for flowers. Yes, advertisement? Okay then. Then goodbye. Qing Yu raised his hand and placed it in front of Uchiha Obito's chest, and said lightly. One of Hado, punch. Boom, in an instant, a burst of air pressure suddenly rushed out from before Qing Yu's two fingers, directly penetrated Obito's chest, and completely destroyed his heart. This time, he didn't avoid it anymore. He neither used Kamui's hollow power, nor did he rely on Hashirama's cells. But let the majestic air pressure destroy his heart. Just like back then, Lin was the same when Kakashi penetrated her heart. In silent silence, Obito's body slowly fell down. The consciousness gradually receded, and in the end, he didn't say a word. 0. Instead, he looked at Kakashi, died extremely quietly. See this picture, almost everyone else is numb. After all, the masked man has been one of the people behind the scenes from beginning to end, and he does not deserve any sympathy. Therefore, his death, for this ninja, there are basically only benefits. But, among all these people, only Kakashi lowered his head slowly, extremely heavy. Although not long ago, he had already thought about it, he would end Obito himself. But at the moment, when I saw Obito's life die in front of my own eyes. In his heart, I don't know why, it adds a bit of loneliness. This guy after all, I was one step ahead of me, I went to see Lin. In silent silence, Qing Yu turned his head slightly, looked at the Shao organization people behind him, and said. Let's go back to Rain Shinobi village. The voice fell. Everyone in Shao then put down their hands one after another, left from the side of Seeing and others, and walked forward. Under the bright full moon, these figures, like their dream monsters, gradually disappeared into the horizon. But, despite the darkness around, do not know why. At this moment, the four shadows who looked at each other vaguely felt. The sun seems to be about to rise. The dawn of Ninja World also seemed to be coming soon. Chapter 306 Rain Shinobi's sunny day, everything is like a dream. Advertisement 1 month later. Rain Country, in Rain Shinobi village. The sky is clear and there is no cloud, everything is a thriving scene. On the street, there were cheerful smiles on everyone's faces. Because for a month, Rain Shinobi village is no longer the same as before, and will always be shrouded in haze and rain. In the past, only Sundays would occasionally be sunny for a day. And now, but just the other way round. From Monday to Saturday, the eyes will be focused, and only on weekends will it occasionally rain. This situation, without a doubt, makes the entire Rain Shinobi village full of vitality. And at the moment, a group of people wearing fancy clothes came to Rain Shinobi village. When they saw their clothes, the passers-by of Rain Shinobi village showed kind smiles. 107. because at this moment, they even wore heavy raincoats. Obviously, it seems that Rain Shinobi Village is still the same as before. And at the moment, after seeing this picture, the person in the raincoat smiled bitterly. He really didn't know that there would be such a big change in Rain Shinobi Village. He had known it earlier, so he didn't change his raincoat specially. This person, it is Jiraiya, but now, he has changed his identity. Konoha's sixth Hokage. It is said that after Tsunade announced the negotiation contract with Akatsuki to Konoha, he took the blame and resigned. Jiraiya, on the other hand, took the initiative for the wish of his dead disciple, Uzumaki Naruto. He was naturally the one who came to this meeting. After a while, above the high tower of Rain Shinobi Village. In a neat conference hall, 6 people were sitting around the conference table. Sitting below, Hokage Jiraiya, Mizukage Terumi Mei, Tsuchikage Onoki, Reikage Ai, and acting Feng Ying Tamari. This picture is really strange. However, Fengying Village did not have enough qualified people to appear after the waves of blows. When I learned that Akatsuki from Rain Shinobi Village wanted to unify the Shinobi world. They also have no resistance at all. Therefore, some old guys simply chose Tamari to participate because they didn't want to lose face. And at the moment, the meeting room door was pushed open. The person who walked in was not Qing Yu, advertisement. It's Nagato. Now, seeing this picture, it is naturally very strange. It stands to reason that Qing Yu should preside over this kind of big event personally. Thinking of this, Terumi Mei suddenly raised her eyes slightly and said, "Where is Qing Yu?" The voice fell. Nagato's face remained unchanged, faintly authentic. "He is resting. I will preside over this meeting. He has already explained the specific rules and affairs, don't worry. Let's begin." When the voice fell, Nagato took out a white document. I saw above, impressively written a lot of rules and regulations. And the 5 shadows can only see this, but in the meanwhile. What they don't know is, at this moment, the top of the Rain Shinobi Tower. Qing Yu was lying on it, looking up at the blue sky, basking in the sun warmly. Very comfortable. Long time ago, he thought about it when he was doing missions in the country of fire. One day, he will turn Rain Shinobi Village into a place suitable for life. And now, he finally did it. In the future, maybe you can also consider planting peach trees, sakura flower trees, etc. in the village. It's great to think about it. And when Qing Yu was wandering around, suddenly, a figure came to the side. "Qing Yu-kun, is it really appropriate for you not to go to this important occasion?" The person who spoke was naturally Konan, and after the voice fell. Qing Yu just laughed, without hesitation. "If I go to the show in person in any scene. Isn't it more trivial? Do not worry, Nagato can handle it." While talking, the expression on Konan's face also softened slightly. After a while, she also bent her knees and sat beside Qing Yu. Looking at the sky together, advertisement after a while. As if thinking of something, suddenly she turned her head again and looked at Qing Yu, somewhat puzzled. "Anyway, Qing Yu-kun, I have always been weird. Why, you never seem to tell us about your past and friends." When the voice fell, Qing Yu's eyes lighted slightly, and he chuckled. "Why ask this suddenly? Curious zero," Konan answered honestly. And after the voice fell, Qing Yu raised his hand, stretched out to the sky, and chuckled lightly. "Then tell you, in fact, I am not a person in this world, so I have no past. Never tell anyone. Read." As soon as the voice fell. Konan paused for a moment, and after a while, he immediately laughed softly. Obviously, she seemed to take Qing Yu's words as a joke. While chuckling, he didn't ask any more questions. The breeze blows, flicking the hair of the two of them slightly, it was very pleasant. Qing Yu's eyes were shining, and he murmured softly as if talking to himself. "Everything flies so fast. From then to now, it's like a dream." Konan chuckled softly, picked up the green silk beside his ear, and whispered. "That's right, Qing Yu-kun." End. 4.6 The Hokage chapter is officially over. Sprinkle flowers. Thank you all for seeing here all the way, and I feel a lot of emotions in my heart. This book was written from the beginning of March to the end of September, nearly 7 months before and after, 900,000 words. Said that it is impossible without hard work. However, I did update a little later, so that many people thought I was going to be an eunuch. Say sorry to the brothers who were chasing the watch. But now, it can finally be over well, and it can be regarded as a sigh of relief in my heart. I hope that in the next book, if a brother recognizes me, remember to give me more support. Love you. Chapter 307 New Journey, Pirate World, Advertisement. End of Hokage article. The pirate chapter opens. The night sky is like ink. It was dark in a blink of an eye. In the elegant mansion, Qing Yu is lying on the bed. Meditating alone. The reason why he told his secret to Konan at the end. It is because he has gradually felt that his journey in this world is about to end. This is a very wonderful experience, but I can't say why. He doesn't know where he will appear next time, therefore, it can be regarded as a farewell before leaving. Although Konan might think he was joking with himself there. But he did not intend to explain, anyway, everything is fate. Perhaps, the hit has long been doomed. No words for a night. In a daze, Qing Yu fell asleep, and when he opened his eyes the next morning, what appeared to him was no longer the familiar mansion. It's a blue sky, and he suddenly felt that he seemed to be floating somewhere too. After he looked around for a while, instantly, he was dumbfounded. He actually lay on a huge ship. He stood up quickly and found that he seemed to be lying on the deck just now. After confirming that the surrounding area is not an illusion, a wry smile appeared on Qing Yu's face. It seems everything is like a dream. It seemed that he was here again, another world, as he expected. His journey to the next world has ended. Suddenly, a systematic voice appeared in his mind. Ding, congratulations, host, come to the world of pirates, and hope you will have a good time in the new world. Advertisement. Qing Yu almost fainted instantly. What's happening here? Where? Did you hear me wrong? Is it the world of pirates? If he remembers correctly, he was seasick before. If this comes to this world, Tenten is on the boat. He won't die of seasickness, but he felt it again. I don't seem to be seasick anymore. Looking at the weather today is pretty good. It feels quite comfortable to lie on this deck. Looking at the blue sky, there are white seagulls flying past the sky from time to time. This scene is quite beautiful. In fact, before Qing Yu, he especially yearned for the days of wandering on the sea. But because of his seasickness, let alone traveling, he didn't even dare to take a boat. Qing Yu thought to himself, it is estimated that this is the credit of the system, and wants to get him into this world for tasks. Always seasick, how could he complete tasks in this world? Quite excited to think about it, it's also an unexpected surprise. So he lay on the deck of this ship, basking in the sun, and felt extremely happy. Suddenly, he heard a sound of music, so he walked down the deck and found that it turned out to be a luxurious cruise ship. On the second floor of the cabin, there were many people singing and dancing, which seemed to be holding a grand ball. Qing Yu suddenly felt that his stomach was already there, and he planned to get in and get some food. Before he could get into the cabin, he suddenly noticed that not far away, another big ship arrived. When Dingxing took a look, the skull pattern drawn on the sails of that big ship was clearly the pattern of a pirate. It looked like it turned out to be a pirate ship. Qing Yu was extremely excited. Unexpectedly, when he just arrived, the world would meet a pirate. He then went back to the deck and looked over there. Seeing that luxurious pirate ship, it has slowly approached here, getting closer and closer. It seems that the target of this pirate ship is this luxurious cruise ship. Qing Yu thought to himself, he wanted to see who this pirate leader was. Advertisement. Now that he has come to this pirate's world, he must be in this world, and he must break out of the world. Suddenly Qing Yu was extremely excited, and he wondered if this is the world of One Piece? If this is the case, will he have superpowers like Luffy? If that is the case, he is so handsome. Just when he was thinking about this, suddenly the sound of the system rang from his ears again. Ding! Congratulations to host for coming to the world of One Piece. As a meeting gift, I will give you 2 devil fruits. After Qing Yu listened to it, he was there, and the novelty was really what he thought about and what he came to. Suddenly 2 fruits appeared in front of him, and the strange-looking fruits were there. He remembers that everyone can only eat 1 devil fruit, and that Luffy eats rubber fruit. That's why he can be like a rubber man, his arms and legs can be stretched, especially powerful. So he asked me there, can I eat both fruits in the system? What kind of fruits are these? What changes will happen if I eat them? Ding! If you go back to host, you are a traverser, of course you are better than them. You can naturally eat these 2 fruits, as for what effect, it depends on your destiny. Does this depend on fate? Wouldn't it be good if you just tell me what ability it is? This is still on sale there, but the system has no sound at all. This system is too capricious, and often seems to be indifferent to him. After leaving him there for a long time, the system ignored him. He was there looking at the 2 fruits in his hand, he was hungry now anyway. Regardless of him, since it was given to him, he ate it well, so he stuffed the 107 fruit into his mouth. I think the fruit is quite delicious, with a lot of sweet and sour juice. So he ate both of these 2 fruits, although one of the 2 fruits was a little sour and the other was a little sweeter. But it was quite delicious, and I felt very comfortable after eating. He wants to show what kind of skills he has, but now there is no enemy or anything, and he can't implement it either. So he was there, watching the pirate ship approaching their ship's position bit by bit. After all the other people on this ship discovered the problem, they were all in a panic there, and the music over there stopped. And the group of tourists were escaping around there. Suddenly the ship had arrived. They were next to the ship, and they also set up a board. They are all there preparing to board this hand. These people were so scared that they were all running around there. Qing Yu was watching all this there, thinking that he wanted to see what the pirate boss was capable of. So he hid to the side and took a look first, and suddenly he saw a fat woman in a strange dress, carrying a huge hammer there, leading a group of men, so mighty, from the pirate ship, came to the deck of this ship. There he shouted, "Brothers, get on board, take all the valuable things on this ship to our ship." Chapter 308 Encountered a pirate, the crisis is hidden. Advertisement. Just after he gave the order, the pirates all started to work on the ship one after another. Those who frightened the passengers on the ship, those who fled the trial everywhere, and some people in these pirates have already started. Some have been given by them and thrown directly into the sea. Qing Yu stood there and did not make a move. He wants to see what these people are capable of. He even dared to show off on this ship. It seems that this woman is very powerful, she seems to be the leader of these pirates. At this moment, I saw a dumb little boy standing next to the pirate leader. The boy looked 17 or 18, wearing glasses, and shivering dumbly there. Looking at the pirate leader, the fat woman smiled and said to him, "Compared, I ask you who is the most beautiful person in this ocean?" The comparable looked over there, and the fat woman said there, "Of course it is Miss Camilla. You are the most beautiful in this sea." Hearing the answer from Comparable there, the woman seemed very happy and laughed loudly there. He said there, of course, I am a woman with both beauty and wisdom. Of course I am worthy of a beautiful pirate ship like me, right? The one who was comparable to Doglegs quickly wiped the sweat from his forehead there. Said, of course, because you are the most beautiful woman and very knowledgeable, no one except you is worthy of this title. The woman stretched out her shoes there and said, hurry up and clean my shoes, because you, a worthless guy, only ration F***CK shoes. You want to clean my boat, clean it. He turned to face him, where the workers on the pirate ship ordered. Qing Yu thought to himself, is this the legendary female pirate, King Kong, Bang, Camilla? If it were her, it would be really interesting. Will he really meet Luffy in a while? Advertisement if so, he really wanted to fly with this Luffy to become friends. Just then he saw there, after that Comparable had wiped the female pirate's shoes clean. With a kick, the female pirate kicked Nobby to the ground and said, you are such a trash, hurry up and get out of me. Quite trembling, he quickly hid to the side. He drooped and was sent aside to do odd jobs. He was pushing one there. The huge wine barrel seemed to be strenuous there. It seemed that there was a lot of stuff in that wine barrel. Qing Yu was observing in the dark. Only a few tall pirates came over. Said to Comparable, what are you doing, you trash? Comparable and tremblingly said, Miss Camilla asked me to clean the work here. I cleaned the wine cellar here. But after saying that, the pirates laughed there and said, look at you, you don't have much strength like a little chicken. Our brother will help you. After you finish drinking the wine in the barrel, you can push him again. When he said that, he stretched out his hand quickly, and the scared Comparable hurriedly hid aside and said, don't hit me. The few people saw the look of the Kobe, and laughed there and said, you trash. He said that he was going to move the wine barrel when he stretched out his hand. At this moment, the wine barrel suddenly exploded. In an instant from the wine barrel, a boy wearing a straw hat came out. Qing Yu's eyes lit up, is this the Luffy? Qing Yu was there with a smile, looking at the appearance of this Luffy. Indeed he looked exactly the same as the Luffy in the One Piece that he had seen before. It turned out that it was really fun to come into this world. So I saw the few people, their jaws almost fell out, and they shouted, who is this? He can still get into the wine barrel. The few people were so scared that they ran away quickly. When they were running out, they just saw Miss Camilla, who came back carrying her huge iron rod. There he shouted, I ask you who is the most beautiful in this sea? The few people hurriedly got there and said tremblingly, of course it's you, Miss Camilla. But Miss Camilla didn't. She was so happy and said there, then what are you yelling at there? Advertisement. Which guy is there yelling and screaming? I was awakened by you when I was sleeping soundly. After hearing what Miss Camilla said, several people rushed there and said to Camilla. Miss Camilla is right. Let me tell you one thing, we have an intruder here, he is quite powerful. Asterisk. Yeah, that guy is so amazing, it's very strange, he got out of the barrel? Yes, that guy is amazing, it scared us to death, boss, go and see. Camilla asked them there, who is it that dared to come to my ship? Is it a pirate hunter? Comparable betrayed me, I must look for him. Impossible, the boss is not a pirate hunter. I heard that the man has been captured by Marine and it is impossible to come here. Who the hell is it? Could it be that terrible Xiaogang who came here? Just when these people are there, guessing who they are. At this time, Luffy had stood up, and he was saying something like Comparable there. He introduced it there and said, hello, my name is Luffy, where is this place? The Comparable at this time was there, and he said tremblingly, this is the site of Camilla the Pirate King Kong Rod. I am his Comparable handyman. When the two of them, the Zhao who got, were talking there, Qing Yu on the side was right there, at the pillar beside them. When Qing Yu walked out, both of them were surprised, and asked there, who are you on Earth? Qing Yu thought for a while and said, I am a tourist on this boat. I want to come to this sea for a ride. As a result, pirates like them have no way to bask in the sun. Luffy actually knew it by himself, and walked over to Qing Yu and said, hello, my name is Luffy, what's your name? Qing Yu thought, I didn't expect that this Luffy is still familiar and quite enthusiastic. He happened to be there thinking how to strike up a conversation with him. He happened to be here to talk to himself, which is really great. Qing Yu introduced himself. Hello, my name is Qing Yu, I am here just to see, what is the life of these pirates? Chapter 309 One Step Ahead, Grab Luffy's Lines, Advertisement. My goal is to be One Piece. In fact, Qing Yu knew that Luffy would say that, but he deliberately snatched his lines in front of Luffy. After Qing Yu said these words, he saw that Luffy was there with his mouth wide open, looking at Qing Yu with an incredulous expression. There was confusion and asked, what, you are exactly the same as my ideals, and you want to be the One Piece? Qing Yu nodded and said, of course my dream is to be the One Piece, are you too? Luffy was there hard, nodding his head and said, that's right, my dream is to be the One Piece. Comparable on the side was even more frightened, and tremblingly said to them both, what, both of you are going to be One Piece? You two are not dreaming there, how is this possible? Just with you two, how can you be the king of Shanghai thieves? Qing Yu smiled and said, what's the matter? As long as there is a dream, everything is possible. Luffy on the side nodded there and said, yes, I think so too. I also think that if I have a dream, I will succeed 107. But there was a look of surprise and said, I don't dare to think about it. Before, I always wanted to be a marine, and I caught all the pirates and became a great hero. Qing Yu and Luffy heard it, but they didn't after saying so, they laughed at the comparison there. Qing Yu patted the comparable shoulder and said, although you seem to be cowardly, but I think one day you will surely realize your dream if you get up. I believe you. The moved comparable said there. Then if you are the most powerful pirate in the world, and you want to get the world's largest treasure, do you too also have such a dream? Immediately after speaking the comparable words, Qing Yu and Luffy were there, nodding their heads together. There he said to comparable, of course, we must fight for it. Luffy, who was on the side, stretched out his hand and said to Qing Yu, then can we two go together? From now on, we will become partners and fight together to become the Pirate King. Advertisement. When Qing Yu heard it exactly what he wanted, he had a friend like Luffy, of course he was not afraid, even if the 2 devil fruits he ate had no effect. As long as this Luffy is by his side, he will be safe and sound. So he smiled there, shook hands with Luffy and said, in the future, we will be good brothers and friends. In this case, we will fight the world together. Comparable seems to have been infected by the 2 of them, and said there, then first must join Marine in the future and become the most powerful Marine. When I become stronger. Catch all of you bad guys. This is my dream since I was little. I will try it again in the future. At that time, I will definitely catch Camilla from damn it. A few of them heard it. Not far from them, it sounded like a roar. There was a terrible shout, but who do you want to catch? How dare you even say you want to catch me? Who do you think you are? You still want to escape from me, you dead fellow, see how I kill you. Qing Yu and the others were all together, looked at the voice, and saw the fat woman, striding over there towards them. And she carried it on her shoulders, and the huge iron rod swung towards them. There she saw Xiao Bai and the 2 of them said, who are you guys? Are you that? Are you an accomplice of pirate hunters? How dare you come to our place? Don't you know who is in charge on this site? The subordinates next to him were there, and said very dogmatically. When, ACEG, is our beautiful Miss Camilla, of course you have the final say. Of course, boss, you are the most beautiful woman in the sea. At this moment, Luffy said, and asked everyone's chin, comparatively, this savage woman is dark and fat, who is she? Qing Yu couldn't help being there, and burst into laughter. He thought to himself that this Luffy was really cute, and he was so straightforward. Comparable on the side was already scared and tremblingly said there, Luffy, you must not say that, this sea area is hers, she is the famous Camilla pirate. Advertisement. Qing Yu was smiling there, her stomach was already hurting, she leaned forward and back to the ground, clutching her stomach and smiling there. I couldn't help but said, Luffy, what you describe is so kind, a savage, dark and fat woman. Just these few words have been accurate, and all the image of that woman has been described, you are too powerful. After Luffy finished speaking, he was mad at Camilla. There roared. What are you talking about me? How dare you say that I am barbaric, dark and fat, what are you talking about there? Still laughing there, who on earth is you guy, dare to be in my place, dare to say that to me, I will kill you now. Said that Camilla raised his big iron rod and waved it towards Qing Yu and the others. Qing Yu and Kebi quickly hid aside. After Luffy also dodged, they saw the huge iron rod and directly smashed the deck under their feet into a huge hole. Can imagine? How strong is that? If it hits them, it will be over. I saw that Camilla, who had gone mad now, picked up her sledgehammer and was there, and started to snatch them frantically. Wherever her sledgehammer went, it had been smashed beyond recognition, but Luffy and they all avoided it with ease. Qing Yu found that he is also very flexible now, so he just pulled comparable and hid. It's comparable to the one he had already fainted. At this time, Qing Yu was hit in the head by the woman's huge iron rod. Qing Yu had finished thinking about it, this huge iron rod hit his head, then he is probably going to die again now. Wouldn't it? He just came to this pirate world, he hasn't flexed his fists yet, just got to know the Luffy One Piece. He was still thinking about becoming friends with him, and rushing through the world of pirates. How could he just die like this? He was a bit unwilling. But suddenly I felt that it was not so painful, the huge iron rod had directly hit his head. Chapter 310 Encountered an attack, find a skill, advertisement. Why is this? Not only he felt surprised, but all the people around him, including Camilla holding the iron rod, were there, watching with surprise. Qing Yu leaned his body, got out from under the iron rod, rubbed his head there, thinking what is going on at this time. Camilla was there and said with a face of disbelief, it's impossible, no one who hit my diamond rod can survive, how can you be safe? You didn't even shed blood, who are you? Are you made by King Kong? Qing Yu suddenly remembered at this time, the devil fruit he just ate, could it be related to that devil fruit? Suddenly he saw the woman, and then swung the iron rod toward comparable. In a hurry, he stretched out his hand to stop the iron rod. Suddenly he felt his arm grow longer, and he immediately grasped the iron rod. He quickly took the iron rod into his hand and took it over. He suddenly realized that he also ate the rubber fruit like Luffy. At this time, Luffy was there and looked at Qing Yu in surprise and said, Qing Yu, have you eaten rubber fruit just like me? Hash plus hash equals. No wonder I feel so kind when I look at you, don't you think I'm so kind too? Qing Yu was there at this time, smiled at him, and thought, how'd I know what I'm eating? According to the observation now, it seems that he really ate rubber fruit, and this thing is too powerful. He didn't expect that he could get such a skill. After Qing Yu smiled there, he wanted to show off his skills there. So at this moment, he rounded off his leg, robbed the large group of pirates, and instantly kicked all the large group of pirates into the sea. And his legs have become long, and it feels like they can be extended indefinitely, he is so excited. He didn't expect this system to give him such a good thing. It was so great that he had such great skills in this world, and he couldn't help but jump for joy in his heart. Advertisement, but he has eaten 2 devil fruits. What exactly is that skill? Are there other skills? He was thinking there, that crazy woman now has no weapons in her hand, so she rushed towards him like a cow. Luffy on the side stretched out his hand and punched the woman out and landed heavily on the deck over there. He just smashed the boards on the plywood to pieces. At this moment, Luffy turned around and smiled and said to Qing Yu, "It's really great, we too have the same skills. I am really in this world. I haven't found a Superman like me who has been upgraded after eating this rubber fruit. It turns out that we two are the same, which is great, and we both have the same dream. How about we must fight side by side in the future?" Qing Yu nodded and said, "That way, of course, I also want to make a breakthrough in this pirate world. What do you think, Luffy?" Luffy thought for a while and said, "I want to find some partners, and then we can find a very powerful treasure together." After listening, Qing Yu nodded and said, "I also have such a dream, so let's go together if this is the case." Comparable on the side was there, hiding behind a huge wooden barrel after coming out tremblingly. She sighed. "You are too powerful, I really appreciate you too much, can you save me? I was forced by them to do hard work, I want to go back." Qing Yu said to the pirates lying on the ground next to him, "Hurry up and prepare a boat for Comparable and let him go home by himself. He can do whatever he wants. You are not allowed to stop him." After hearing what Qing Yu said, those few people were there respectfully and prepared a boat for Qing Yu and them. Let them leave these plague gods as soon as possible, they don't want them to be here anymore, none of them can deal with them, let alone these 2 people are like Superman. So a few people hurriedly prepared a boat for the 3 of them and sent them away. In this way, the 3 of them embarked on the way to send Comparable home on this boat. 0. Seeking flowers. Comparable to tell them a lot about the stories in this pirate world. Advertisement tell them that there is a pirate hunter named Carson who is particularly powerful. He is a very terrifying person, but don't be met by him. If you are met by him, you will suffer, because they don't want to become pirates. When Qing Yu heard the name of Carson, he seemed to have some impressions of the name. This pirate hunter is really famous. I heard that he is very capable and eventually became Luffy's friend. So he proposed there. Then let's find this Carson, how about we treat him as our own friend? Luffy laughed loudly there. It's so good, I want to try it too. Point 0. Comparable on the side, said weakly there. Your dream is to be a pirate, but I want to be a marine. Then, will we meet each other in battle? Qing Yu smiled and said, then it depends on your ability. Saying that they just boarded a land, this is where Marine's garrison is located. A few of them saw the people coming and going, found a restaurant and planned to eat something. It was discovered that Qing Yu had no money. When he asked Luffy, Luffy thought about it and said there, I don't have any money anymore, but what should I do? Comparable smiled on the side, and took out some money from Kabuto and said, I just kept the money secretly. In order to thank you for freeing me from the sea of suffering, I invite you to eat. Qing Yu and Luffy smiled, and agreed to follow Comparable, and came along to a restaurant that looked very good. After they walked in, they ordered some simple meals and started to eat there. So they ate and chatted there. Qing Yu asked K-Bai there, where's the Carson you said? When they just said, here, they found that all the people in the restaurant were there and looked at them in fear. They thought they had said Carson's name and were shocked, but they didn't pay attention to it. So Comparable on the side said, I don't know where Carson is. Chapter 311 Cruel Father and Son, Embarrassed, Advertisement. After hearing them talk about Carson there again, all the people who ate were there, so they quickly put down the knife and fork in their hands and ran out. Qing Yu and the others were quite surprised. It was really interesting to see this scene. A few of them guessed that maybe this Carson was too powerful, which made these people scared. So they are very sensitive to this name, and just then they came out of the restaurant after they had eaten. The boss looked at them with very strange eyes, but he didn't dare to say anything. He hurriedly closed the door of the restaurant and didn't dare to entertain other people. At this moment, they were walking and watching, and the notice on the side of the road said, they have the final say. Here is a school lieutenant named Harley, who has already captured the pirate hunter Carson and was imprisoned. Qing Yu, 107. When they heard it was really a coincidence, they also happened to be here to send Comparable here. I didn't expect to be able to meet Carson here. It would be great if I could meet Carson. When a few of them were on this street, after walking aimlessly for a while, they found a huge building. It seems that the building is quite magnificent, and it is full of very magnificent villas. There is also a huge iron gate, surrounded by towering walls. 2 huge words, Marine, were written impressively on the iron gate. But when he looked there, his eyes brightened and said, is this the Marine base? It's so handsome, it's too magnificent, I've wanted to be here for a long time. Luffy on the side was there, and quickly climbed to the fence and said, wait for me to see where is Carson. Qing Yu immediately followed him to climb up, but he was also particularly curious behind him. After a long time of losing his energy, he climbed up to the wall with a sigh of relief. The 3 of them just lay on the fence and looked inside. Qing Yu saw it at a glance, a man tied up like a cross on a big pillar in the yard. It seems that the man is very sturdy, tall and wearing a black turban. I don't know how he looks like. Advertisement, but looking at it, there is a very haughty feeling. Who is this man? Is he the person they are looking for, Carson? He looked very imposing, and the one on the side looked at the man and said, I think he must be that Carson, such an imposing person, but there are not many. After hearing a voice from their side, the man opened his eyes and slowly raised his head. A few of them only saw the appearance of that person. Qing Yu couldn't help but exclaimed in his heart, sure enough, this Carson looks exactly the same as in the legend. And looking at the wounds on his body, he was often abused, and looking at his frail appearance, I don't know how long he hasn't eaten. When he saw a few of them, he was lying on the wall and looking at himself. So he showed it there, with a very horrible smile on his face and said, "You guys come over and help me untie the rope? I have been tied here for many days." But after seeing this man's face, he was so scared that he was already trembling there, and said to Qing Yu and the others, "You two must never untie his rope. What if he lied to you?" Qing Yu, who was on the side, had already crossed the fence. She just wanted to stop but didn't stop him. He whispered there, "Qing Yu, come back soon, he is a dangerous person, so don't be fooled by him." Qing Yu smiled and said, "What's the matter? I am not afraid that he lied to me, because I am also very powerful." Qing Yu wondered what I was doing, and snatched Luffy's lines again. Luffy also jumped off the fence and said, "Yeah, I'm also very good." When the two of them were about to walk towards the man, suddenly behind them, the door was opened. Qing Yu and Luffy swiftly, they hid aside, wanting to see who they are. So at this moment they saw a man with golden hair, who was very wretched and looked skinny. Even though he is very dressy, he looks like a dandy. He had Kabuto's hand in there, and he was breathless, with two sturdy bodyguards. He came over and said, "I didn't expect it, you guys are still alive?" Advertisement Carson saw the man there and said, "Of course I have to live, and I have to live upright, unlike some people who can only rely on their own fathers, where they are zero." When the man heard that he was taunting himself there, he said there, "I tell you, my father, Colonel Halley, is the boss here. I, Zalota, are here, that is to say, the one and only one. If you offend me, then I will definitely let you die miserably. I really didn't expect you to be able to stop for so long. I thought you would have been and can't last that long. I didn't expect you as a person to have perseverance." At this time, beside Qing Yu and the others, I don't know when a little girl did not climb up from the fence. When the little girl saw that she was 4 or 5 years old, she didn't know where she had such courage. She jumped off the fence like this, and she didn't know what she was holding in her hand. He went straight in the direction of Na Carson and came to Zalota. He said happily, "I have made this rice ball for a long time, and I want to eat it for you." The Zalota on the side said angrily, "What are you? Why are you running here?" When he said that, he knocked the rice ball in the little girl's hand to the ground, and then slammed it 4.6 with his foot and stomped a few feet. Then he said, "You dare to give him food, don't you know? If you give him something, you will commit the same crime as him. I have warned now. If you dare to come again, don't say I killed you." Then he said to his men, "Throw this kid out to me." The subordinate next to him was there, and couldn't bear to attack such a poor little girl. However, the Zalota scolded and threatened him, if he doesn't throw the little girl away, he will go back and tell his dad Harley to clean up the men. So he had no choice but to do it. Seeing that the boy was big and thick, he picked up the little girl's neck and threw the little girl out. Chapter 312 Enemy with me? Who are you? Advertisement Qing Yu stretched out his hand at this time, trying to catch the little girl. He didn't expect that he found that his own hand was extended indefinitely. After catching the little girl at once, she hugged it in her arms. The two immediately rolled aside and fell heavily, but Qing Yu used his body to protect the little girl. The little girl was terrified, so he hurriedly comforted the little girl there. Comparable at this time also came down from the wall. After coming over, he looked at the little girl and there was nothing wrong with it. Too angry Qing Yu and Luffy, it was too much to look at this person there. Even if he doesn't do anything to such a small child, he is completely devoid of humanity. At this time, a few of them, all of them jumped to the side of the wall, and were not discovered by that Zalota. So they waited there, after Nahiroda and Carson left after speaking. Qing Yu jumped over the fence again and came to the front of Carson after seeing him like that. Carson said fiercely, "Don't you hurry up and let me off, O2. And Qing Yu smiled and said, "I heard that you are also a badass, and I don't want to let you go, so I haven't thought about it like this yet." After Carson listened, he said disdainfully there, "When I survive by myself, as long as I survive a month, that guy will definitely let me go as agreed. I can leave here, I don't want to use you yet." Qing Yu smiled and said, "Then you are still very powerful. If I were tortured like you, I would have starved to death." Qing Yu turned his head and was about to leave, but at this time, Carson stopped him. He asked Qing Yu to pick up the rice ball on the ground and give him to eat. Qing Yu looked at the rice ball, it was already stepped on and it was dirty, and it was full of sand. He looked there and said, "This can't be eaten." And that Carson roared there, "I said I want to eat and eat. Don't be shivering there, just give it to me as soon as possible." Qing Yu looked at him, didn't want to talk nonsense with him, picked it up and stuffed it into his mouth. Advertisement unexpectedly, that Carson was so good. He was chewing rice balls with his mouth full of sand, and it was delicious. Seeing Qing Yu feel sick. He couldn't stand there anymore, turned his head and wanted to leave. He had just walked a few steps before being called over by Na Carson. Qing Yu couldn't help being there, and said impatiently, "What on earth do you have to say quickly? I have to leave here." Just when Carson was there, he hesitated to say, "You can help me talk to that little thing, this rice ball is delicious." Then after Qing Yu smiled, he jumped over the fence easily. When he saw Luffy and Comparable were there comforting the crying little girl. Qing Yu walked over and patted it. The little girl's head said, "The guy in there has already eaten all your rice balls. Besides, the rice balls you make are really delicious, he likes them very much." After the girl heard Qing Yu saying this, she widened her eyes and looked at Qing Yu, then burst into laughter. Said happily, "It's really great, I'm really happy." He said incomprehensibly. In the legend, this person is a big bad guy who does no evil, why do you even give him rice balls? And the little girl was angry, and said there, you are not allowed to say that to him, he is a good man, if he didn't save me. I have been eaten by the wolf raised by Zalota. That Hilda is the real bad guy, and his father Harley, the two of them always bully us ordinary people. Following his wolves all over the street, scared these people to run away from trial rampantly, and sometimes hurt people. And just when the wolf was about to bite me, it was the big brother who saved me. If it weren't for him, I would have been eaten by the wolf now. Of course I would be grateful to him. When Qing Yu heard a few of them, it turned out that Zalota was so bad. His father is also a wicked bad guy, which makes Comparable think he wants to, and his idea of being marine is a bit shaken. Just when they were chatting there, they heard it, walking out of the yard just now. Advertisement that Zalota and those two doglegs were by the side, chatting there as they walked and said, when I am going to kill this guy, I didn't expect this guy to have such perseverance. I will never allow such a person to live. I will kill him in 3 days. Let those who want to be right with me and my father take a look, who would dare to shake the position of our father and son. When Qing Yu heard that this guy was totally unbelievable, he just told Carson there that he would let him go after a month. But he turned around and said there he was going to kill Carson in 3 days. It was a set in front of him, and he was really an untrustworthy person. Luffy and Qing Yu, who were on the side, stopped the person there and said, didn't you have an agreement with Carson? Why didn't you abide by the agreement? At this time, Zalota looked at the two strangers and said, what are you two? Where do you come from? You dare to talk to me like this, don't you know who I am? 107. I'm Zalota, I'm Harley's son, who would dare to provoke me in this place? Where do you all come from? Do you want to be our enemy? So he was there, talking improperly, and ordered his two subordinates to take Qing Yu and the others down. He felt that Qing Yu and the others were not a good thing, and Qing Yu and Luffy at this moment looked at each other. There, Luffy slammed it with a punch, knocking Zalota to the ground. In an instant, Hilda was lying on the ground, vomiting blood, probably several front teeth had been knocked out. One can imagine how ruthless Luffy's punch was. The man shouted there, don't you think? We're enemies, who are you? Luffy on the side smiled and said, I am Luffy. Qing Yu here smiled and said, I might as well tell you, my name is Qing Yu. At this moment, everyone was there, looking at all this dumbfounded, everyone was there with extreme fear. Who is this who dares to beat the Colonel's son? Colonel Haley is their overlord here, who dares to be rude to him? There is also the Colonel's son, who is simply the prince here, and no one dared to beat him. Chapter 313 Major Tumbian, so happy, advertisement. So at this time, everyone was there to persuade them not to do anything there. Qing Yu and Luffy are too. It's not like you beat that guy with one punch and one kick. The Zalota cried and said, I'm Harley's son. See how you end up? I'll go home and tell my dad to go. He was crying, and ran back home. Kaibai persuaded the two of them and said, you two can't do it. This person is not easy to provoke. If it is really known by that Harley, and we beat his son, we may already be killed by that Harley. Qing Yu was there with disdain, glanced at the backs of those who were running away and said, since I and Luffy have fought, we are not afraid of him, we have this ability. Luffy smiled there and said, it's so good, seeing you have the same ability as me, don't mention how happy I am. In this case, the two of us will save Carson. I decided to take Carson away. Let him be our partner, how about, Qing Yu, what do you think? Qing Yu nodded and said, I also agree, let us go and save Carson. Saying that the two of them strode forward, and headed towards the place where Carson was begging to enter. When the two of them went to Carson's side, they watched Carson still groaning and tied to the cross. After hearing the footsteps, Carson slowly raised his head and saw that the two of them had come again. Carson said there, what the hell did you two come here for? Are you here to see my jokes? Qing Yu smiled and said, of course not, now solemnly introduce myself, my name is Qing Yu, and his name is Luffy. The two of us are determined to be one piece. Now we want to get you into the group. What do you think? The Carson was there after listening to it, and laughed loudly. What do you think? Do you still want me to be a pirate with you? I'm a pirate hunter, don't you know? Qing Yu smiled and said, I think you are working with us now, it is your best choice. Do you know that you are about to die? Advertisement Carson said disapprovingly. How is it possible? I'll get through 10 more days, and Zalota will let me go. When the time comes, I will do it again, my pirate hunter, I won't be the infamous pirate like you. Qing Yu sneered and said, you are still there listening to the nonsense of Zalota, he never thought of letting you go. Just now we heard him say that he will kill you in 3 days. Are you still taking the letter to take it for real? Don't you know who he is? You are too naive to believe what he said. After hearing what they said, Carson didn't believe them there and said, forget it, I don't believe you, you must be here to lie to me. Luffy smiled there and said, I heard that your sword is particularly powerful, then where is your sword? How can you be arrested by such a powerful person? Hearing this, Carson couldn't help but said embarrassedly there, my knife has been taken away by them, and I don't know where they're hiding. Those people are really wicked. Qing Yu looked at Carson there and said, then you have to trust them not to believe what we said to you, we didn't lie to you, it is absolutely true. They said that after 3 days, you will be executed, don't you believe us? Qing Yu thought for a while and added another sentence there, saying, I'll tell you one more thing, that is, these people are not good people at all, don't look at them under the guise of marine. What you have done is even more hateful than pirates. Think about what the father and son have done, isn't it? Damn it compared to some pirates? The pirate we are going to be is to be the kind of big pirate. We are going to find that huge treasure. Can you go with us? If you agree, we will help you find the 3 knives, and then we will leave here. Carson heard Qing Yu. After they said so, he was indeed a little tempted. So he said there, forget it, you two are bragging right there. The management in this marine base is very strict. How is it possible for you to find my knife in this environment? Qing Yu looked at him there and said, then if I found the 3 knives for you, would you really want to go with me? From then on we will work together as partners. Advertisement. Carson thought for a while and said with a smile, then I have to look at your abilities. Let me see if you can find my 3 knives. I think you shouldn't say too far, it is impossible for you to find it so easily. The management here is very strict. And that Harley is so powerful, you can't fight that Harley. Qing Yu said with a smile. Then you just look at the abilities of the 2 of us? Speaking of, Qing Yu smiled towards Luffy. Luffy also nodded towards Qing Yu. The 2 people left here very quickly. At this time, Carson saw it, the back of the 2 of them quickly leaving. There he said, these 2 lunatics don't know where they come from. They're talking nonsense here. I want to see if they have such skills. To be honest, he didn't believe what he said just now. It is true that the 2 Harleys and Sons are not good things. If people like them are still Marines, they are really inferior to those pirates. If you really let these 2 guys get his knife back. He really wants to be friends with these 2 people, the Zhao. It is really touching to see these 2 people. Qing Yu and Luffy were just like this, and they shuttled there quickly, and the 2 ran there one after the other. Sometimes 2 people ride side by side, anyway, the speed of the 2 people is quite the same. At this time, the 2 of them heard a crying sound, and the 2 of them quickly hid aside. He heard the sound of Zalota like a pig, and ran in there crying and rushed directly upstairs. I heard him yelling there, Dad, hurry up and take revenge for me. Someone hit me, what do you think of beating me? At this time came out of the room, a man. Qing Yu and the others saw it. That man was a burly figure. That Zalota, who is almost the same as this beansprouts dish, is a different person. I didn't expect these 2 people to be father and son. Chapter 314. Work together to find 3 knives. Advertisement. When I saw that Harley, it was horrible. He was strong and full of muscles. He also wore an iron mask on his chin, which looked very scary, and he was still holding a big cigar in his mouth. This is nothing, and one of his hands looks like a handicapped hand, but this handicapped hand is not like ordinary people. It was actually fixed on it, a huge axe, and this axe looked very sharp and very big. If this axe is cut down, it can directly chop off people's heads together. Is this the legendary Admiral Marine Harley with the axe? Unexpectedly, this is really different from his son at all. Harley, who was on the side, frowned and said to him, what are you yelling at there? You were beaten like this in this place. You are a guy who can achieve nothing more than success. You are here every day to show off your martial arts. Who did you meet today? Haley reprimanded his ineffective son there. Zalota was there, crying and said, I don't know who they are, they're simply too horrible, their hands can be stretched. Moreover, being able to knock me down at 107 easily, it's horrible, I don't know where they're from. When Haley heard there, he said angrily, I want to see who the hell is. Let me see if someone dares to attack my son. Saying that he was there, strode out. Qing Yu and Luffy both ran out from the side and saw that Zalota was still crying there. I can't believe that this strange father and son are so different. At this time, Zalota saw Qing Yu and Luffy, and they both frightened him and ran away. After Qing Yu stretched out his hand, he grabbed Zalota by the back of his neck and pulled him back. She was so scared that Zalota was crying and crying there. Qing Yu threatened him and said, if you yell and yell here, believe it or not, I will choke you to death. When Qing Yu finished speaking, Zalota's voice stopped abruptly and he didn't dare to speak anymore. Advertisement. There he whispered timidly, please let me go, can't I listen to you? Luffy on the side, ACEG, said, hurry up and tell me where are the 3 knives of Carson. If you don't hurry up, take them out for me, don't say the 2 of us killed you. After hearing this, Zalota pointed to the other side and said, in my room. So Qing Yu and the 2 of them carried this guy and dragged him forward like a dead dog. The 2 of them ran over because they were too fast. Zalota quickly said there, my room is the one in front. So they hurried back and saw that Zalota's room was indeed very luxurious. Unexpectedly, this guy has such a clean and contentious room. It seems that the father and son have lived quite well. He said that he dragged the guy into the room, and then he saw that it really had 3 knives, and he stood at the corner of the wall. Luffy walked over and took the 3 knives in his hand and said, it looks like only these 3 knives. Speaking of the 2 of them, one was holding 3 knives, and Qing Yu dragged the guy to continue walking. When he dragged and dragged, he found that the guy had fainted. He simply threw the guy aside, just like a rag doll. When Qing Yu and the others gave Carson the 3 knives, Carson was very happy and was moved there. Unexpectedly, these 2 sentences really counted the words, so he took the 3 knives back to him. So when they were talking, Haley led his son, and Hilota came to them. Harley was fierce and pointed at Qing Yu and said, who are you guys? How dare you talk to this prisoner here? Don't you know, talk to this prisoner or help this prisoner, I will kill you in a while. Seeing that all of Haley's men were there, they raised their guns and aimed them at their side. Carson asked there, what are you guys doing? Did you initiate a coup? Is it worth it for me? Advertisement. Harley on the side shouted, kill this guy for me, aren't you the famous Carson? But in front of my power, your little ability is nothing in front of me, you are just like a strand of ants in front of me. Everyone will give me this base, surround me in groups, don't let that stinky boy leave here with the straw hat, I will make them pay the price. At this time, everyone's muzzle had been pointed at Qing Yu and Luffy, their side. Qing Yu and Luffy were not afraid. When the bullets of those people flew over, Qing Yu and Luffy blocked Carson's side. Carson closed his eyes and thought, I don't want to die here, I still have a lot to do. If I die here, I would be unwilling, but when he was there, he was ready to be shot through. The imaginary pain did not come, but he heard the gunshots, but he felt that he was unharmed. What was going on? When he opened his eyes, he saw Qing Yu and Luffy standing in front of him, protecting him tightly. Seeing those bullets from Marine, shooting frantically towards them, all those bullets hit the bodies of Qing Yu and Luffy. This made Carson feel particularly moved. Never before has anyone protected him like this, he was very moved. So he shouted there, you two don't need to protect me, you can run away. However, those bullets were shot over here quickly. Both had been shot on Qing Yu and Luffy, but they didn't see the scene of flesh and blood flying, but these bullets seemed to be inlaid on them. This stunned everyone there. When those people watched the scene, they were all there, staring at both of them blankly. I saw Qing Yu and Luffy, after they ejected the bullets inlaid on their bodies forcefully. They flew quickly to the side that attacked them, and the scared people avoided them. They didn't expect that this bullet couldn't kill both of them. On the contrary, these bullets were embedded in them, which made everyone present look at Qing Yu and Luffy with horrified eyes. Chapter 315 Fight together and defeat the Colonel. Advertisement. At this time, Luffy stretched out his long legs. After they became infinitely longer, he swept everyone out with one kick and kicked them all away. Seeing this situation, all those Marines were already frightened and evaded. Only Colonel Haley was there, raised his axe, and hacked towards Qing Yu. Qing Yu kicked him there, kicked him out and made up a few kicks. Directly hitting that Harley's head, he plunged into the soil, lying motionless. At this time, Qing Yu and Luffy both rushed up and wanted to beat those people violently. All the Marines who frightened them all avoided. Looking at them like the devil, even Carson, who was tied to the cross, was watching there. The two of them opened their mouths in fright. There it said, are you two monsters? What kind of spell are you two? Qing Yu smiled and said, nothing, we just ate devil fruit. We both eat rubber fruit, so we are now rubber people. I'm not afraid of those people's beatings and their bullets. We can say now it's Superman. After Qing Yu smiled and slapped Luffy, they looked there again. All the people who looked at them and those who were scared all backed down. Looking at the eyes of the two of them, it was like seeing the devil, scared that no one of them dared to step forward. Qing Yu and Luffy hurriedly removed Carson from the cross, and Carson fell to the ground instantly. He is already weak, even if he ate the one just now, the little rice ball is useless. He hadn't eaten for so long, and he was tortured by Naruto. He was extremely weak now. Qing Yu and Luffy can only go to help him, they just swaggered out of the Marine base. When they came to the street, the people were all there cheering for a while, praising them as heroes. Because they have been bullied for a long time, Harley and Zalota and his son are not good enough. Now that someone can liberate them, they are extremely happy, and they never have to suffer the torture of those two people anymore. Advertisement. At this time, Comparable and the little girl ran over and saw Qing Yu and Luffy. The person who followed was officially tied to Carson in the base. Comparable on the side, hurry up, hide aside and say to Qing Yu, Qing Yu, you really saved him, he is a very dangerous person, aren't you afraid of him? Qing Yu smiled and said, I have defeated even the Marine Major and Colonel, who else can scare me? Are you talking about this guy? This guy is now our friend, and he has agreed to join our team. He has become one of us, don't be afraid. This made Comparable startled, watching all this with his mouth wide open. He looked unconfident and said to Qing Yu, are you telling the truth? Carson, who was supported by them, said impatiently there, okay, don't be wordy, quickly find me a place, I want to change my clothes, it is too dirty. And I'm hungry and want to eat, since I'm one of you, don't care about the food? Qing Yu on the side said that he had no money at all, and Luffy was so poor that he couldn't even afford a ferry ticket. I could only look at the comparison there again, but there was no way for the comparison there, so I took a long time from Kabuto and took out some change. Said, this is my only property, but you are going to take me away, otherwise I really have no money. Qing Yu on the side suddenly said, then why don't we? Major Marine went to get some money, he has a lot of money. How can we patronize and go without thinking about getting some money? In this case, we are also rich. Luffy thought that this place was there too, and said admiringly, Qing Yu is still smart for you. It seems that I will become your boss in the future. You are still smarter. Sometimes I am more impulsive. Qing Yu thought so well, this famous Luffy should be my little brother, of course I am happy. If I can become Luffy's eldest brother, then am I not One Piece's eldest brother, then I am also the biggest One Piece. Thinking that he was happy in his heart, so the two of them said they would do it. 0. Seeking flowers. Advertisement. The two of them said to Comparable and the girl, you find a place to hide first, and we will make an appointment to meet in a while. The two of us are going to get some money. Otherwise, we can't make any progress. What should we do if we don't have money? After Kobe and the girl nodded, the girl said timidly, then I will take this Kobe brother, we will wait for you near the statue over there, and we will stay there in a while. As for Qing Yu and Luffy, they directly entered this room and saw it. When Harley's room was in the room, both of them were stunned. When he came back, he punched him out again and directly landed on his father Harley. When they arrived at that Haley's residence, they saw that Zalota was there and stood up swayingly. Boxes of gold bars, all kinds of gold and silver treasures, are simply countless, and there are a lot of gold coins there. Indiville. When you come back, go there and find us. All the Marines who were frightened were there, running around without even daring to take care of them. Both father and son escaped for their lives. Saying that, he and Luffy turned their heads and left without delay and went back in the direction of the Marine base. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. He just woke up and didn't know what happened. Qing Yu and Luffy pretended not to see them. Qing Yu nodded and said, "Well, you two must pay attention to safety." Seeing these two people ran back again, they were scared to lie on the ground and pretend to be dead, afraid that they would come and beat themselves again. When the two of them returned to Marine base again, those Marines who had been beaten badly by them just got up from the ground. Unexpectedly, Harley had received so many people's anointings, and there were so many things in the house with such money. 0. In this way, both father and son, after being solved by Qing Yu, the two of them lay motionless and completely died. I left the room in a daze. When I went out, I saw Qing Yu and Luffy again, and he was scared to hide aside. Qing Yu had already seen it. He stretched out his hand and grabbed him from that corner. Chapter 316 Rob Marine, Pirate Hunter, Advertisement. Qing Yu and the two of them, although they are powerful, they only have 2 hands. So the two of them were there, greeting a few Marines who were trembling with fright. Said, "You guys hurry up and bring me some boxes of these things. We are going to go to sea to prepare a big ship for us." Those few people did not dare to disobey Qing Yu and their orders, so they were all there trembling, greeted everyone to be there. "Please leave these 2 plague gods as soon as possible." They thought that as long as these 2 fellows were gone, their peaceful days would come back. These 2 guys are too strong, they can't beat them, they can only drive them away. Their major and colonel have all been killed. No one can call the shots, they can only save themselves. So all the people were there to help, and 107 helped them carry all these gold and silver jewelry to the shore. In a short while, someone drove a big ship and stopped after it reached the shore. Qing Yu asked them to carry all these gold and silver jewels onto the boat. Qing Yu looked at it, and he was quite satisfied with the ship. This time they were rich. So Qing Yu took some gold coins and bought them at the market and restaurants, a lot of things to eat and use. The 2 big bags with Luffy went to the sculpture in the square and found the girl who was comparable to that. The girl was talking to his mother. His mother found the girl anxiously, knowing that the girl caused trouble. But they have lived here for so long, and they are already terrified. The girl's mother said to the girl, "Let's go quickly, this place can no longer live, I will take you to escape. Your father doesn't know when we can come back from the sea. My neighbor and I have left a letter. I have packed my things. Let's get ready to leave here." Qing Yu looked at the girl and his mother, and then said to both of them, "Then this aunt, you and this little sister will go with us. We have a boat, where do you want to go?" Advertisement. The god Tyr thought for a while and said, "We want to go to X city where there is my sister's house. We want to defect to him. We have no way to live here." Qing Yu nodded and said, "Then we will send you 2 to city X first, and then we will leave the girl to take a look." The 2 of them were actually quite scared, but at least the 2 of them were saved with this one, and their daughters Carson was friends. So after thanking them, Qing Yu and Luffy watched Carson and they walked all the way towards the beach. Comparable also followed behind them, carrying things in large and small bags. But Bai asked there, "What are you 2 carrying? How come you can get so many things back in a while? Are you 2 really went to the house of Major Marine to rob?" Qing Yu nodded and said, "Yes, we not only robbed their gold and silver jewelry, but also robbed a boat to come back. We will leave here in the boat after a while. They can't find us anymore," which makes Comparable scared. Said, "It turns out that you are really pirates. Not only are you pirates, but you are also such awesome pirates. You robbed Colonel Marine? They won't come to retaliate against you, right?" Qing Yu smiled and said, "He is dead now, those Marines have no time, let us go. If you don't leave at this time, what are you waiting for, and leave here as soon as possible." Saying that they were just like that, big and small, they changed to support each other and went to the boat. When Compi saw this ship, he was even more stunned. "Could it be that the ship you were talking about is this big ship? This is the very luxurious ship of Major Marine, and it can be given to you? It's really amazing." Qing Yu smiled there and said, "Then you can't get on the boat, what are you waiting for?" After Yu Sekong and the others got on the ship quickly, Kebi was responsible for helping them sail the ship. But this person is still very smart. He has lived on the pirate ship before that for so long. He has learned various skills and is still a little expert. So the comparable task is to help them drive this ship. Qing Yu commanded them from the side, and after driving out for a while, they stopped there. They were all hungry. Advertisement. So everyone gathered on the deck and started to eat, seeing so many rich things. "I will be your little follower in the future, can I? No matter what you do, I will follow. I am a person who believes." Qing Yu looked at it and smiled and said, "Don't you dream of being a Marine? We are pirates and not Marines. Do you want to think about it?" Qing Yu said with a smile, "You are a fool. I didn't expect the famous pirate hunter to be so foolish. Of course he is fooling you." Carson looked at a few of them, and then said very firmly, "I, Carson, is a person who believes in his words. Since I agreed to go with you, I won't regret it. And you helped me snatch my 3 extremely precious knives back, and also rescued me, of course I will follow you." Comparable said to the side, "Then will you really join them? Are you a pirate hunter? I really didn't expect that Zolota was such an unbelieving person. He clearly bet with me that in a month, he would release me. First saw Marine this time, and Marine is not a good person, see? Then the two Harley and his son bully the people like this. It's not as good as the pirates can save the people. Qing Yu patted his shoulder and said, great, now we have these partners, and we will recruit more talents in the future. Comparable at this time was there, and said very angrily, I know, you are the future pirates, but what about that? She was very happy, and said with a smile, it looks like you are really amazing, can I follow you in the future? Carson on the side took a look, and a few of them said, I haven't officially, thank you for saving me. He turned back and wanted to kill me, it was too shameless. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Carson said embarrassedly there, yeah, I really didn't expect them to be so shameless. Such things can be done. It's impossible for him to let you go. If they really let you go, what is the majesty of their marine? It's so naive that you can believe people like them. 4.6. They are all in the packages he is carrying. It turns out that these things are all food and things they use. Chapter 317 A Leisurely Pirate Career in the Name of a Hero. Advertisement. At that time, our team will grow stronger and stronger, and we will definitely gather talents. Luffy on the side said with a smile. From then on you will be our boss, how about it? Qing Yu, you are so smart. With such a move, we can get back so many gold and silver jewelry in this ship. We don't have to worry about funding. We will go to find the biggest treasure in the future, and get the biggest treasure in our hands. The little girl's mother seemed to be afraid of them, so she hid on the side and did not dare to come out. Qing Yu found out at this time, the girl and his mother are not here, where are they hiding? So he asked Comparable there. Comparable pointed to the cabin below and said, the girl and his mother were afraid of us, so they hid and didn't dare to come out. Qing Yu walked down and saw that the girl was sitting in her mother's arms, where her mother was hugging her. After seeing Qing Yu coming over, he hurriedly hid behind O2. Qing Yu smiled and said, don't be afraid of me, auntie, I am not a bad person, although I am determined to be a pirate. But I also want to be a pirate who robs the rich and helps the poor, and won't do anything to you poor people. The girl smiled and said, Mom, this brother is very good, he is not a bad person, don't be afraid of him. The girl looked around and said, brother, when can we get to the place? Qing Yu looked at it, and the marker on the map said, it may take 2 days before we can reach the destination. We have said that if we will take you away, we will be convinced, don't worry. Qing Yu took a look. The girl and his mother said, don't be afraid of us, you two, we have reached the sea now. Even if Harley and Zalota want to catch up, it's impossible for you two to come up and eat something. Are you already hungry? The girl nodded there and said, yes, brother, I'm hungry. Advertisement. Then he turned around and said, Mom, let's go up and eat something. This brother is not a bad guy. Since he helped us, what are you afraid of? After hearing what the girl said, the girl's mother said to Qing Yu, thank you young man, then we will bother you, but we don't have any money for you now, what should we do? Do you want some expenses? I only have some change now, or I will give you all the money. Qing Yu smiled and said, we don't want your money, and what else do we need your money for if we have money now? We just see that this little girl is very cute and faithful. So we are happy to help you, then let's go up. The god tier was very grateful, and after expressing his gratitude to Qing Yu, he went up with Qing Yu. Qing Yu gave them some more food, and the girl thanked them while eating. The girl looked at what Carson said again, brother, thank you for saving me. I haven't been well, thank you. I hope you will be healthy in the future. You will always be my hero. Carson felt a little embarrassed after hearing what the girl said. He is usually called a bully and demon by others, and it is really the first time that he is called a hero by others. The girl said to Qing Yu and Luffy again, you two are also great heroes. I believe you will be very powerful in the future. Qing Yu touched the girl's head and said, okay, just your mouth is sweet, hurry up and eat more. So the girl and his mother gobbled up their food there, they were really hungry. After letting them all finish their food, Qing Yu said to Luffy, Luffy, you can follow and set off in the direction of City X. After we send this ant first, we can be on the sea horizontally and horizontally. Luffy nodded and said, yes, brother, then I will go. He and Comparable both talked and laughed, went to the driver's cab and drove them together, and the ship headed towards City X. Qing Yu, who was very energetic along their way, just sat on the deck leisurely and basking in the sun. Advertisement. He found that there was everything in the cabin, and there was even a kitchen. The food in the kitchen was quite complete. I heard that this ship is Harley and Zalota. I usually enjoy this ship when I go out to sea, but I didn't expect this ship to go to them. The ship still looks very beautiful, and the facilities are very complete. They can wander around the sea with this ship in the future. But he found the pattern on the ship, which was too eye-catching, so he planned to find someone to repaint all the patterns on the ship after arriving in X City. Don't let them discover that this ship belonged to Harley before. At that time, they could also reduce a lot of trouble. Qing Yu found some fishing tools again, so Qing Yu had prepared all the fishing rods and everything. A big parasol was also set up on the deck, and he was lying on the deck chair, fishing comfortably, very comfortable. After a while, I caught several more fishes. I didn't expect the fish here is quite abundant. 107. After he put all the fish in a bucket, he gave it to the ant and asked the ant to make fish for them. The ant is not afraid now. The two of them are there, so they are very happy to help. They go to the kitchen and cook all the fish into delicious dishes. When they arrive at night, they have this delicious fish to eat. Qing Yu, it is rare to have such a leisure time. In the last world, it was actually quite unhappy to fight every day. Now that he has such skills, and there are so many treasures, as well as this ship, he already feels very happy. If you and Luffy and the others crisscross the sea and become the biggest pirate king, that will be their goal. When Qing Yu was eating, he asked Kebi specifically, "Can you really want to be with us? Or you still want to be a marine? If there is a regular marine, won't you participate?" But Bai shook his head there and said, "I am so disappointed with those people now. I will be with you in the future. Pirates are my goal." Luffy, who was on the side, cut and said, "Your goal has become too fast. I was there before and vowed to be marine. Now I am going to be a pirate with us. You have become too fast. You are too inconsistent." Chapter 318 Marine Dreams and Embarks on the Wrong Path. Advertisement comparable said with a smile. "What's the matter? The famous Carson has changed from a pirate hunter to a pirate, so what am I still holding on there?" Luffy smiled and said, "If this is the case, then you must follow us and not allow betrayal. If I find you betrayed me and our boss, I will definitely kill you." Kebi nodded there and said, "Although I have no abilities, I am quite trustworthy. Although I am timid, I will not do some treachery. If I want to become a pirate with you, I will never regret it, don't worry." Carson curled his lips to the side and said, "Actually, I never told you that you stayed with that female pirate Camilla for 2 years. You are a person with a criminal record. From now on, you just want to be a marine, and people won't want you, it's just a dream." Comparable sighed and said, "Don't tell me, I have already thought of all these things I know, so I have now dispelled this idea. I don't want to be like Zelota and Haley anymore." Qing Yu smiled and said to a few of them, "Then we will continue sailing in this way, but who of us understands navigation knowledge?" Qing Yu looked at Comparable and said, "Do you know how to sail?" But Bai scratched his head there and smiled and said, "Actually, I'm very embarrassed. I'm just a half-hearted person. I only know how to operate this ship. As for the route, I don't understand at all. The picture you showed me is relatively simple, and I can still see that it is going along this route. But if I were a little further away, I wouldn't understand it at all. I think we still need a partner who understands sailing knowledge. Otherwise, we can't do anything about it. It's a very tricky thing in this sea." Qing Yu looked at Carson and said, "Carson, do you know how to sail? You are a famous pirate hunter." Carson was there, and Ji Yu left and right said to him, "I'm just a hunter and not a sailor, don't ask me." In fact, Carson is a complete road idiot. Where did he go? Let alone a navigation route map, he couldn't understand that thing at all. It was just that he was embarrassed and said to Qing Yu and the others. Advertisement, so he said this deliberately there. Qing Yu only knew about this after he arrived, and laughed. Qing Yu leaned forward and closed. Now they just met, he still doesn't know what's going on. So there is no way, they can only send the mother and daughter to X City first. Qing Yu will not even be able to operate this kind of ship, at least there is a comparable ship that continues to sail. They can be considered to be able to move, comparable to just such a hard-working alone there. The ship continued to drive forward, and Qing Yu let him rest for a while when he saw that he was tired. So they really did, and they arrived at the ferry crossing in City X smoothly. When the mother and daughter got off the boat, they thanked them there. The little girl has been getting along with them very well in the past few days, and she is really a little bit reluctant, these elder brothers. After thanking them all the time, they reluctantly left Qing Yu and the others. They just got off the ship, ready to find someone here to help them rebuild the entire hull. After all, this ship is a bit too eye-catching. After they inquired about it, they heard that there was a shop specializing in painting and remodeling the ship. So they could only get off the boat and go there to find this shop. After Qing Yu and the others got off the boat, they kept Comparable here to guard, but BB actually wanted to go with them. But Qing Yu didn't let him go. Let him guard the boat here. After all, there are still a lot of gold and silver jewelry on the boat. If you lose it, what should you do? So Comparable was there looking at the ship. Qing Yu, Luffy and Carson, the three of them, went to the direction of the shop after getting off the ship. They planned to buy some more things, and they asked Comparable, what do they need to buy him back? Comparable took a look, and said to his tattered clothes and dirty shoes, "I hope they can buy some clothes, because he doesn't have any changes." Qing Yu took a look there, and all the comparable sizes were written down, and he was going to help him buy a few more clothes. Advertisement, but at least it is their partner now, it can't be too shabby, and Carson's dirty clothes have not been changed. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. After Qing Yu told the boss about the situation, the boss was very happy, saying that he would go and paint their boat immediately and it would be finished soon. The boss also took some pictures and asked Qing Yu to choose Qing Yu and Luffy. After a few of them looked at them, they gave this to Carson and asked him to refer to them. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the boat can't leave immediately, so of course they have to buy more things to put on the boat. It was still the way they saw it, and there was no change, so they planned to buy a few sets of clothes. When they will land next time, it may not be when. So Qing Yu and Luffy chose a particularly ordinary color, because they didn't want to be too glaring. Carson shook his head and said to them, "It's okay for you to be the master. I don't pay attention to these at all, and I haven't studied them." Soon it had changed to other colors, and then Qing Yu and Luffy, a few of them, began to wander about there. After I couldn't take it anymore, the owner of a supermarket watched them buy so many things. So the boss quickly sent someone to the place where they stopped and went to remodel their boat. They took the initiative to use his tricycle to help, and they transported all these things to the dock. It was not necessary to save so much. I also bought a lot of food and drink, and some essential daily necessities. Stop by the shop and ask their people to get some pictures of their boat. Zhao got it, because Qing Yu had already been before. Kebi greeted him, and Kebi looked at those people there and completely changed the color of the ship. Qing Yu wears very clean clothes, but Luffy is still his own way, wearing a rag hat. When they found the shop, the owner gave them a very warm welcome. Qing Yu gave you everyone. Everyone picked several pieces of clothes and bought a lot of daily necessities. After all, they now have a lot of money. Chapter 319 Surprise. Pirates are also good and bad? Advertisement Qing Yu. Of course they were happy, and put everything on the tricycle. Qing Yu bought a lot of things to thank the supermarket, and the boss was also quite happy. Rarely meet such a large-scale customer. Qing Yu asks what Luffy needs. Looking at his tattered straw hat, he wanted to change it for him, but Luffy insisted not to change it, saying that it was his sign. He especially liked this straw hat and would never change it. He just agreed to change a set of clothes, no other changes were allowed, and Qing Yu simply ignored him. They helped Carson buy a few more clothes and things he liked. They were so happy and returned to their boat. When they saw their boat, they were already very happy. Seeing that the ship has changed a lot, no one can tell that this is the ship of Admiral Marine. Now this ship is completely theirs. So after Qing Yu and the others got on the boat, Comparable drove the boat to the middle of the sea and drifted there a little bit. They don't know where to go in 107. They're thinking about these issues right now. Compared to what Qing Yu bought for him, these things are quite happy. I kept saying there, thank you, boss. I am so happy to be with a boss like you. I have been with that female pirate Camilla for 2 years, and I haven't changed this outfit. Just let me wear these clothes dirty all day long. I don't eat well and don't wear well, and I always let them bully me. No one has ever treated me so nicely. Don't worry, boss, I will follow you all my heart. Qing Yu nodded and said, then I will look at your performance. Do you have anything else? Just tell me that I will complete it for you. Comparable smiled and said, I am very happy now. I am already very proud to be your subordinate. I will become the subordinate of this One Piece in the future. Of course it will be amazing. Advertisement Luffy smiled and said, then we should set out now, where to find the huge treasure. I heard that if anyone can get that huge treasure, he will become the richest person in the world. Carson looked at them and said, then it depends on your ability. Not everyone can get this treasure. Even some of us don't know how to sail. We can only reluctantly drive this ship, so how should we find it? We must find someone who understands sailing knowledge, otherwise everything is empty talk now. When they were there, they were chatting with the sky while looking at the scenery on the sea, checking the things they bought. Comparable is there one by one, helping to tidy up there. Comparing to see these things, he said to Qing Yu, boss, what are you doing with so many things? Just use something. Qing Yu said disapprovingly there, it is necessary for us to eat well right now. Since you are following me, I will let you enjoy the blessing and will not treat you badly. I was happier looking at these things, and said there, boss, these things have been enough for us to eat for a long time. I put all these things in our storage room and kitchen. In this way, we will not have nothing to eat while floating in the sea. And the boss, you said, where should we find the person we need to find who knows about sailing? Qing Yu thought for a while and said, then let's find out and see who has grandmastered this technology. Isn't that enough? Let's drive slowly here first. Anyway, wherever you go, you don't have to be mentally burdened. As long as you don't hit this ship on the reef, you can. ACEG. Comparable nodded and said, okay, boss, I will listen to you. So these 3 people were on the boat and lived a happy life, eating and drinking every day. Then there was fishing, bragging and chatting there. Even the pirate hunter, Carson, who had been precarious before, now fell in love with this life. No wonder these people like to be pirates. The life of pirates is still pretty good, provided that they are wealthy pirates. Advertisement Qing Yu looked at them there, and these guys said with a smile, you 3 big men were actually asked by a girl? A person on the side replied, we are clown pirates. We just got a big ship when we went out to robbery. After watching from the side, Carson threw a rope into the sea and let the people climb up along the rope. They were still on the sea that day, drifting slowly, and suddenly heard a cry for help. I thanked Qing Yu and the others. Qing Yu looked at the appearance of the wolf foxes and asked, what are you guys and why are you in this sea? What happened? The few people were so wet, and after climbing on their boat, they coughed for a long time there. Moreover, the gold and silver jewels we got were also snatched by the woman. She dared to snatch us pirates. She is even worse than pirates. They are still quite wealthy now, and the money they got from that Harley is enough for them to spend a long time. I was so embarrassed to say that when I was there, Comparable on the side asked, which pirate you are, why don't we know? After Qing Yu saw it, he was there, and said to Comparable there, can you see those people you know? But we were deceived by a woman. The woman took our boat and those things. You said damn it, that woman? One of them sighed and said, don't mention it, we were played by a woman who took our boat away. Qing Yu smiled there and said, what are not good people, aren't we also pirates? How can you say that? It is estimated that I saw it, and their big ship was there calling for help at them. A few of them looked forward, and they found that a few people's boats had sunk in the sea. And those few people were floating on the sea, struggling to cry for help there. K-Bai shook his head and said, I don't know, but looking at the dressing of a few of them, they are probably pirates, not good people. Comparable was there quickly, sticking out his tongue and said, the pirates are also good and bad. We are good pirates. They are bad people, pirates, so they are different. Chapter 320 The Clown Buggy and the New Navigator. Advertisement Qing Yu looked at them there and said, if you say it, it makes people laugh at you. You are really too bad. This woman doesn't look like an ordinary person. How can you turn you pirates around? Kebi said to Qing Yu from the side. This clown pirate, I heard that he is particularly powerful, but I didn't expect his men to be so useless. I even lost my things and was taken away by a woman. I think this woman is probably a powerful character. The pirate next to him said, yes, that woman is very powerful, she has grandmaster sailing skills. That's why she was able to fool us so easily. That's not an ordinary woman. If I caught him, I would never spare her. Qing Yu didn't even know where the specific locations of these pirates were. So listening to these pirates and helping them direct the direction, they went to the territory of the clown pirate. They can only send these guys back, and the pirates will not promise them. It is not good for them to let them rest assured. Carson on the side stood up, took his knife and stood there and said, am I still afraid of you? If I know you guys are playing tricks, don't blame me for being so spicy. Only then did the three pirates see Carson, after recognizing Carson there. There he asked tremblingly, are you the pirate hunter Carson? Why are you also on this ship? Carson looked there and they said, I am not a pirate hunter anymore. I have changed careers. None of you are good people. Especially that clown pirate, I don't like him at all. Speaking of Carson, he sat aside, and the three pirates who were frightened looked around there. They were so frightened that they wanted to jump off the boat now, but there was no way, they hadn't reached their destination yet. Only shivering there. When are you waiting to reach your destination? Because they were scared when they saw this Carson, Qing Yu asked them to hurry up and direct the navigation route. Comparable just piloted the ship there, and arrived at the destination soon after paying all his strength. Qing Yu is still sitting there leisurely, he is not afraid of these people's tricks. Advertisement when they let their ship dock, the three men got off the ship, just as they were about to sail on. Suddenly I saw a girl who ran over here frantically. When Qing Yu and the others wanted to go back to the boat, they saw the girl rushing over. Several people were there behind, chasing him frantically. The girl seemed to be holding a roll in her hand, and something was running desperately there. A few of them stood there and watched. The girls suddenly rushed to Qing Yu and Luffy. They said, several bosses, help me, I'm leaving here, I don't want to be here anymore, please. Qing Yu looked at him and said, how do I know who you are and why should I save you? There is no benefit in saving you. The girl said there quickly, I know how to sail, if you save me, I can point you to me, please. When Qing Yu heard this, she really wanted to sleep. When she came to the pillow, this girl really knows sailing experience, right? Isn't she lying there? So Qing Yu was there, pretending to ask nonchalantly, you girl, you know what sailing knowledge, are you there to lie to us? The girl looked at there, a group of pirates who was about to chase behind him. Then he opened it there, and the map in his hand said, have you seen? This is the latest navigation route map. I took it from the clown pirate over there. I stole his things, so he sent people around to hunt me down. I know every route here. If I were to lead you sailing, you don't have to worry about getting lost. Qing Yu looked at the road there. Faye looked at it again. Carson and the others nodded there too. Qing Yu said with a smile, then you get on the boat, we will leave right away. But it was too late. The clown pirate over there had already chased people crazy with them. When the clown pirate walked in front of them, he recognized Carson at a glance. He said there, so you are the legendary pirate hunter, I can see you here? 0. Seeking flowers. It's really lucky, I didn't expect you to come to me, do you have any intentions? Advertisement. Qing Yu looked at him there and said, you'd better pay attention to your words, and answer whatever you ask, and stop talking when you don't ask. Qing Yu didn't expect this sentence to anger the clown pirate. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. After hearing what Qing Yu said, the girl walked around behind them and quickly returned to their boat, Indiville. He was heartbroken there, looking at his baby right there, the girl on their side was holding it in his hand. So Qing Yu said to the girl, then you go to our boat right now, we are here. Pointing to Qing Yu and said, you quickly grab me back, grab the nautical chart in the hands of the thief lady, and take it back to me, that's my baby. After Luffy heard it, he was there and knocked them all down in 3 hits. Luffy held it there and said with the brim of his straw hat, of course, I am Luffy. Carson on the side looked at him, and he said in a desperate manner, then let's go, don't be familiar with them. He had already solved it before Qing Yu could take action. Qing Yu smiled and said, Luffy didn't expect your speed to be so fast. You solved it before I could take action. So he ordered there that his men must arrest all of them, and he must torture these guys well. After a while, the clown pirate, all the brothers had gathered and surrounded them. He wanted to get it right now. After Qing Yu took the nautical chart and looked at it, he felt that the records on the nautical chart were indeed very detailed. But there are some things that can let them cross the sea. Looking at this, Qing Yu couldn't say to them, brothers, it's time to show our hands and feet. Point 0. Qing Yu thought for a while, how could he return this thing to the clown? The clown pirate, who was lying motionless on the side, got up there again after a while. But seeing this fierce battle is inevitable,